Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Cloud Ninja Podcast. Today, we're joined with our regular co-host today, of course, Free Game Nino the Third, my guy Black Lucia, aka Damon and Five, and of
Yes,
course my
sir.
guy Ryzen as well.
I can think
What's
of a
going on,
nickname,
fellas?
even though
Yo,
this is my nickname.
Yeah, factos.
What's good,
Yeah,
chat? What's good, gang? How y'all doing today?
uh, chilling
Doing
pretty
swell.
much.
Feeling
Uh,
jubilated.
True. The original, I guess, official chapter came out. And nothing really changed too much. Everything was pretty much. Well, I'd say the translators did a very good job. The bootleg translators did a very good job.
The
Yeah.
bootleg
I agree.
translators.
I think the only thing that is slightly different is Amado seems to imply that it's going to be when he's messing with Kawaki's limiters. It's not going to be mid battle. It's just going to be okay. While you're off guard, I'm going to keep you at 100% defense. While
Yeah.
you're fighting, I'm going to have you at 100% offense. So it's not like he's switching mid millisecond like what we were thinking.
Yeah.
So he'll be in attack mode, and then if needed, he'll switch into defense. So it won't be like this minute. I gotta keep watch every millisecond of every single angle of the fight. So it seems like it'll be like okay, I'm gonna switch you on, I'm gonna switch you off type
Wait a
thing.
minute. I'm gonna try to go over the wording specifically.
Yeah,
Because
I
if
mean,
that's the case,
the
I
officials,
like
the officials made it a little bit more clear, but I still think it's kind of like impractical though, even like with the official understanding.
All right, I pulled up the chapter, so we can actually go through the wording. Let me see. Okay, he says, for
Oh,
example,
you guys share the screen. There you go.
all right, he says,
I
for
just had to put it
example,
up on the screen.
all right, for example, on a day-to-day basis, you would be at 100% defense, so that even if there was a surprise attack from behind, there's virtually no chance you would die. Conversely, during battle, I'd switch your settings to 100% offense instantaneously, of course. Is this cheat mode really possible? It is for me, though it depends on keeping that toad on 24/7. That's the only caveat. And I'll be fully handling the controls. So he makes it seem like, the default for Kawaki is 100% defense. And then once he's entering battle, or once he's about to start battle, Kawaki will switch, Amado will switch Kawaki into attack mode.
That's still questionable because he made it very clear that the only reason why he's still alive is because he got that 15% defense.
100%. So it's gonna be interesting to see how Kawaki acclimates. I wonder if there's gonna be like another bar that shows Amado when Kawaki's close to overheating, because if they don't know when he's gonna overheat or when he's gonna basically conk out, he could die. So I would hope Amado knows Kawaki's limits enough to where, okay, you're getting close to overheating. Let me switch you back onto defense, or else you're gonna croak.
But my thing is like,
He gonna have a stat bar on the screen.
my thing is like, yeah, but he treating a nigga like a 2K player. You're right, Free Game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what the fuck?
It's like, it's the reason why I say it's still not practical, even with the better understanding. It's like essentially, and I don't think this is a fault in the writing. I really think Amado is playing in Kawaki's face. So I really think that's the case because when you think about it, it's like he gave him a power up that sounds nice. That sounds like something that Kawaki's been asking for. Sounds like something I've been emphasizing the last like 7 months. Like he need to stabilize it. He need to stabilize his power. Figure out a way to stabilize it. Then we introduce some type of form of a stabilizer, and Amado's the one in complete control, and Kawaki's fine with it. Now that's not out of character because, like I said, it's the way Amado presented it to Kawaki. But then the practicality comes in like two different dresses because the obvious reason anything can happen. It's not even just like keeping up with the millisecond because I know like the officials try to clean up that whole entire slate where it's like how would Amado be able to keep up mid battle, and they're just like, oh, offense whenever he's fighting, defense whenever he's not fighting. The practicality in that sense is like, yeah, I know we're telling a story, but in an actual real life sense, it's like, well, what happens on the day that Amado gets kidnapped? Like Hasakoji just got kidnapped, right? And Kawaki's stuck at 100 defense. He can't punch nothing, or he's stuck at 100 offense and he can't take a punch, right? But that's just that. And then on the other side, it's like, well, we know Boruto initially said, okay, Amado's been limiting your power. You need to go see him, right? And then Boruto said he took away your offense and maxed out your defense beyond its point. So the first part of TVB, Kawaki is at 100+ defense, right? Now, granted, we understand activation of karma automatically means more power, more, whatever energy to use in any case, right? But we've seen this man get put on his ass time and time again with the maxed out plus defense, right? So either I don't get it, like where it's like Amado is literally playing in his face to where he's trying to have Kawaki believe all of these things and he's just throwing make-believe numbers, or it's really a situation where we got 100+ Kawaki defense where it's not necessarily in terms of you have impenetrable defense or niggas can't fuck with you. It's just that they probably just can't
Nah,
kill
it's
you.
just like his durability.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like his
Yeah,
durability is
his
so high. Like he
durability.
could get knocked out.
That's what I would put it on.
Yeah, but he's still gonna get put on
Yeah,
his ass. So I'm like,
it's not gonna
God,
kill him
that's
though.
and
that's crazy.
not to mention just regeneration.
Look,
Like by the
say
time
his
you
back
get
pockets. Say his back pockets.
You said
What
what?
happened? Free game?
Oh no! Oh, I didn't even know that would have like. Hello? Hear me?
Yeah, a
Yeah,
little bit. I think you cutting off a
I
little bit.
think I think it cut off a little bit.
That yeah, they weren't the whole pause, but yeah, I can go ahead. My bad.
Now,
I'm
what
sorry.
would
I
you
was about to
say?
say
We
because
didn't
I
hear what
heard
you
the back
said.
pockets part. I heard shit back
yeah.
out. I heard that. I was trying to wait. I was trying to let you build on it, bro. Pause. I was like, what?
Yeah. Well, what my thing though, I get where you come from and everything like that. It just doesn't seem realistic in multiple senses.
Yeah.
My big thing is I just wish he found a way to actually learn by himself. But specifically talking about the defensive capabilities, I mean, rising up on my eyes on the last pod, he said Kawaki never got hit. So I'm guessing his main
Yeah.
defense as of right now in TBV is going to be just not get hit, be faster than all your opponents, and basically hope that you'll basically make
His
everyone
defense is just
like
his
miss.
offense, basically.
But
That's what he has to do.
adding on to Baara's point, Amado, it's not in Amado's best interest to have Kawaki be self-sufficient. I think we talked about this before, but Amado is that person who invents problems and then invents the solutions for those problems. So, normally, someone like Boruto, he can control his chakra enough to where he can use his chakra for defense or offense. He's not reliant on anyone off those base stats. Now, of course, karma's a whole other situation. But in Kawaki's case, Kawaki, I feel like, is blinded by just that power aspects. He's been given a shiny new toy, and he's not thinking about the consequences of that toy.
Yeah.
In all honesty, Amado is smart enough to like upgrade Kawaki into a position where, okay, you just have to think about it, and you can manipulate your
Yeah.
stats by yourself. But here's the issue with that. That makes Amado less useful to Kawaki. That means Kawaki can now act out even more against Amado. Now,
Yep.
Amado tied himself, his whole existence, to Kawaki's power level, meaning Kawaki now has to protect Amado. He now has to continue working with Amado, like getting Koji. So now he's intrinsically inserting himself into Kawaki's life so Kawaki can be used by Amado. Now, of course, we can argue Kawaki is also using Amado, but
You're right.
end
You're
of the
100% right, though.
at the end of the
He's not
day,
using Amado.
at the end of the day, Amado is that drug dealer. He's getting Kawaki hooked. And it goes back to what Momoshiki's been saying, that Kawaki's going to keep letting himself get used over and over again. Now, whether this changes, it could 100% change with Scarf Kawaki. But right now, it feels like, yeah, he is being used to the point where he didn't even ask Amado why he needed Koji. Of course, we could have the next chapter, but he just said, bet. You want Koji? Bet. Give me power and I'll go do whatever you want.
That nigga Amado started off with saying, like, yeah, bro, we're going to do a power up. We're going to take 4 different cc's of blood vessels and all this extra shit. We're going to take a kidney, 3 stones, and I'm going to have control. Kawaki said, you had me at power up. Everything else, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? That's how Kawaki approached the situation. As soon as he heard what he liked, everything else be damned, bro.
Yeah, no, this is a fact. My thing though is like, how far will Amado take us? Like technically, is Amado destroying the Hidden Leaf Village in a few chapters? Like,
I feel like his actions are helping the village get destroyed. Because at the end of the day, he doesn't care about the village. He only allied with the village because that was his best chance at accomplishing his goal. If push comes to shove between him choosing the village's existence or him potentially reviving Akabi, he's gonna choose Akabi. And I kind of joked about this with Uchiha, I think, but if Jura ever gets pissed off, like if they say they take down Hidari, I'm skipping a couple hypothetical chapters here, but say they take down Hidari and Jura is now fully pissed off, I wouldn't put it past Amado to like trade information on Naruto to keep Kawaki alive, because I feel like that's the only thing that could talk Jura down. And he'd be perfectly willing to sacrifice Naruto if it means Kawaki stays alive, if it means he still has a chance of getting Akabi back. Like at the end of the day, the village is Jigen for him. If he needs to, he will betray the village, if need be. It's not like a situation where, oh, he's doing it for the good of the village. No, he's doing everything for himself. If he was for the village, he would have told everyone Naruto's still alive. He would have showed everyone the recording of Kawaki crashing out. No, his loyalty is to Akabi. By proxy, Kawaki, because he still needs Kawaki.
Well, yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. Baara, how's your stance on Amado being a gentleman still? Not necessarily saying like whether or not he's like a Otsutsuki or anything, but just like we it's been some time now. We know the guy. I can at least assume we know of the guy. We know enough of him. Like, is he a gentleman or not? Is he?
Well, Mello opened my eyes. He basically said that it wasn't necessarily, he's not necessarily like a good guy per se, but he's more of just a concerned father. The fact that his daughter died, and of course he went through that crazy experimental phase a bunch of times, and now he's still trying over again. It leads me to believe that he's really just a father who misses his daughter. Now, as far as like him being Otsutsuki, I gotta say no. I mean, again, what Ryzen just said, that just supports what I believe. Honestly, he'd literally be willing to destroy the Hidden Leaf Village to save his daughter. That's not like an Otsutsuki thing. It's just a father wanting to save his daughter or bring his daughter back. So it wouldn't necessarily be like he's like changing in my eyes.
Adding on to your point, I feel like this might be controversial, but in a perfect world, in a perfect world where we have Orochimaru, I feel like it's a missed opportunity for like Shikamaru not to just go to Orochimaru and say, "Yo, can you revive this Akabi Sanju?" And, we can use her as leverage. If Amado steps out of line, we can seal her soul into like something or someone, and just prevent him from bringing Akabi back.
But
did Amado ever like share his master plan with everybody? Like, oh, I'm trying to revive my daughter. That's what I'm practicing with it. Okay, he did. All right.
Yeah. But
that's when we all found out, huh? When he broke everything down.
Yes.
Yeah, when he told Naruto.
Okay. Got it.
Y'all want to know what's crazy with Amado though? It's like, and I just realized this. He's digging his own grave, essentially. Like, and it's crazy because it even dates like in life, bro. Like I don't know who said this. Was it Anime Balls Deep or was it was Naruto? I was watching somebody video over the weekend, and I was like, they said something. I paused it. I was like, the nigga spitting some real shit. I'm not gonna lie. He was like, bro, when you look at Amado's perspective, it's a prime example of basically not being appreciative or grateful for what you have. Because there's always somebody down the line, someone before the line, someone in the same damn line as you that's going to look at everything you got that you probably scoff at or take for granted and be like, damn, if only I had that. Like a nigga got a shed and you like, damn, bro, if only I had a mansion. You know what I'm saying? And then you got nigga out there sleeping in the grass like, damn, if only I had that shed. You feel me? So Amado essentially did the unthinkable because, and the thing that reminded me of this is like what one of y'all just said, because like if you go to like Orochimaru Edo Tensei, like one of the main things about Edo Tensei they emphasized in Shippuden was like, oh, it's like a cold vessel. The body pumps no blood. They could stay up forever. They don't have to eat. Essentially, it's a walking corpse, and they don't really want to live like that. They can't age. They can't love. They can't feel. They got the memories and the personality, yeah, but that's about it. And Amado made it clear he wanted his daughter back and alive, but he has to understand the threshold he even reached to the point where, like, he literally recreated this woman's memories, her past experiences, her likeness in terms of physical appearance, and all of the above. It's just that he's like, nah, it's not the same personality. Let's go again. At this point, my nigga, go to new Baara with Delta. She got the memories. You feel me? It's like this is your daughter right there. You feel me? Like, but he's gonna be doing all this, and then once he gets the Akebi, he quote unquote thought he wanted. Like me and Free Game been screaming this whole time. She from the backdoor this man, and she's gonna backdoor him so swimmingly. It's gonna be crazy. But he's just not really understanding what he already has. And then once he loses it, he's gonna think back like, "Fuck, I wasted the
it
time my
just seems
daughter
like
was sick." He was like, I spent the time she was sick looking at my computer screen trying to fix her. I ended up creating a whole nother body double. I treated her like a fucking experiment, and now I don't even got the body double. No, once the nigga lose Delta and any opportunity to get in the Kevy, then he gonna realize like the shit he actually drew for himself.
And you know, I think
this
is
is
going to
just
be
like a long drawn out blood prison. That's all.
Literally.
100%. And you know, I think this will be a pivotal chapter once he, at least in the next 1 or 2 chapters, once he talks to Koji, because they could go about this in a few different things. Koji could say, "Oh yeah, nah, we just die in every timeline, so I don't even know," and then we just move that pin somewhere else. Or he could say that it's impossible, or that it is possible. Like, there's so many ways they could go about this, and depending on what Koji says, might lead Amado to spiral off the deep end. Because if he's locked into like, okay, yeah, the world ends before this happens, I now am forced to deal with the divine trees. But if Koji verbatim says, "Nah, this ain't working," I wonder what would happen if we just say no. does he believe it, or does he still try for that plan?
I believe it's gonna have to be to a point where either Amado sees for himself, or he reaches a point to where he hits a block in his scientific abilities. Because we know like he can give these abilities, he could transfer cells, but as far as like controlling them himself, he can't. So I know there's a lot of crazy theories in terms of like what Amado's doing, but I really think the most realistic thing is what he's doing is he's trying to see if he can access the data that Koji has via memories. He's not going to want to use the abilities. He's just going to be like, well, if I could see his memories and he remembers all the futures he saw, I can literally have this data saved. So I think that's the way he's trying to go. But in terms of like future memories, Amado, he's not going to be able to crack the code in terms of the random updates when it comes, how it comes. He's going to have to cooperate with Koji on that end. And that's where it's going to lie with the frustration, because it's going to have to, not have to, but it could reach a point where Koji says, I've seen this future and you may not want to do it. And he gets annoyed and he forces the memories out of Koji and sees it for himself. And like he said, yeah, it's not something that you want to do. And he sees some
Or
shit you don't
Koji
like.
hits him with the Doctor Strange and say, "I've
Only
seen
one.
14,605 timelines, and only one of them your daughter is alive in."
Literally.
And then Koji, yeah, he tries to go down that timeline.
But even if she comes back evil, we know Koji, I mean, Amado's still gonna side with her because he told Kabuki to his face, I'm gonna use all my power I can to fight you if she comes back as Otsutsuki and you try to kill her. So I'm like, this nigga Amado, he's literally, I think he's on the path. If he doesn't turn out to be a villain, bro, Ikimoto, you missing the ball, my guy. You got a chance to make one of the greatest villains. But like, he's a scumbag, bro. Like he's still a messed up person. Like morally, he's not a good guy. Even with his daughter,
I
I
mean, could you
can't feel no
already
remorse for
consider
him.
him as a villain? I mean, I wouldn't say like a full 100%, like
Not
Jigen's villain. Like,
necessarily
could
a
you?
villain, but like a conflicted character that you could feel remorse for. But I can't even say that for him. I can't feel
Anti-hero?
remorse for him. Like Itachi was conflicted, and you feel remorse for Itachi because like, damn, this nigga really looked at the situation and felt like he needed to kill his whole clan, and it was a fucked up situation, right? Now the blame that lies on him still lies on him. The blood is on his hands, but still, that was a fucked up situation. People can empathize with in terms of making harsh decisions when you have no other choice, right? Motherfucking Obito manipulated to world's end, and then the way he viewed the world was so misconstrued, it was just crazy. Sasuke, do I even need to say more about him? It's like all of these people, and then
I'm gonna
when
be
it,
honest. I'm gonna put a pin on Obito, but like, you know, screw him. 6 feet under. Let's go. Bury him under the ground. Under
I
he
know
needs to be
I'm gonna
buried.
say this for
I mean,
biases
even
aside.
Sasuke, it's like I don't know.
At least
For
Sasuke paid his dues. At least Sasuke helped save the world and bail
like,
Naruto
yeah,
out.
I'm saying
It's
though,
like,
and it's like all of these
Isn't that what
situations they
Amado's
were
doing?
placed in, all of these situations they were placed in though, bro. Like you got to look at it, Baara. Obito, I agree. You could put a pin in it. Nigga started a world war. Whether you agree or not, like that's still a whole other thing on its own. But all of these characters have situations where it's like you see that turning point for them. And for Amado, yes, granted, the man lost his daughter, but what was his turning point to go so far to the point where like he's okay? He's not even okay. Like he's not even gonna spend his daughter's final minutes in this world with her. He was preoccupied with his research the whole time while she spent her final years alive, final months alive, and operating on her body, doing all this, that, and the third, right? Then you go on to kill endless amount of children. Endless amount of children, bro. All just so you could be like, oh, I'm gonna bring my daughter back. The reason why I can't fuck with it is because look at this though, Baara. With Obito, with Sasuke, with all of these characters, somebody did something to them. With Nagato, with Pain, somebody did something to them, and that enacted revenge. Amado's daughter passed on in this life by an act of means of natural ends, whatever you want to call it, natural selection. Ain't nobody walked up and put a pistol gun to her head. So where Amado got to be like, nah, I'm gonna bring her back, and ain't nobody. He's literally just not accepting reality. It's like if someone just simply dies, that's it. Now, if someone, let's say Amado had somebody and he knew somebody killed Akebi, I ain't gonna say it justifies everything he's been doing, but it makes sense. Okay, he's out for revenge and he's not going to accept the outcome that happened to his daughter. But no, his daughter died from a sickness, bro. So you're going to kill like 50 million kids and then you're going to
that wasn't his,
y'all know I hate
Kawaki, his decision.
He fucked up Kawaki's life though.
Hey, do you 100% believe like his story about his daughter though? You don't think there's like some ulterior motive or like some
you have
deeper
to, because
meaning
why would Ada lie for him? You have to believe it.
Yeah, but to be honest, even if that is the full story, people still don't necessarily think he's a good guy. Just like my guy Black Witch. Yeah, I disagree. Most of the children that died, RIP to them, fake kids, of course, but RIP. It wasn't Amado's decision. It was Jigen's decision. It was Ishiga's decision. He didn't have a choice in the matter.
Jigen's yeah, I mean, he kind of did though. He was doing everything for Jigen, but it was for himself at the same time too, though, because the karma he was going to use to revive his daughter. So he had to.
But we also got to remember,
couldn't Jigen do it?
We also got to remember he needed Amado's tech. Like we can count on one hand how many people are almost as smart as Amado. So if Amado doesn't play along with Jigen realistically can't like do these karma tests because we know he needed like a whole system. And even
Amado's
then,
not the only scientist.
Yeah, but like you can't blame Jigen because it's literally like it's Jigen's plan. It's not like Amado woke up one day and said, I'm gonna kill all these kids. But Jigen said, hey gang, we gonna experiment on these kids. Who knows if they survive, but we gotta get a lot of kids because the odds are they won't. And he still agreed with the plan. It don't matter how he felt about it.
To Baara's point, but like to Baara's point, like you can count on one hand how many scientists could even attempt that. Like, there's not a lot of scientists close to Amado's level. I mean, like, there's Orochimaru and there's Katasuke. Like, there's not really a lot.
I don't think so. I think there's more scientists out there that could have possibly done what Amado did. And to be honest, most of the stuff that Amado was doing didn't come from Amado. It came from other scientists.
But think about it this way. They needed Katasuke's tech. Like the whole reason why Katasuke was on his war criminal arc was because he was genjutsu'd by Kara, and Amado was able to reverse engineer his tech and make it better. Like, who realistically could do that?
Not only that, he reverse engineered. Remember the scientist from the Stone Village, the Kala Outer? He did his tech, the tech that was in the hidden water, the land.
But he kind of low key took their tech.
Yeah, it wasn't his.
We did it. Made it better though. No, but he made it better though.
But that's talent though.
But see, here's the situation.
That's like Baara. Like that's like if a spaceship landed on Earth and we found out how to reverse engineer it and everything like that. You gonna call the people who reverse engineered it like simpletons or like?
No, but they're not one of ones. They're not like this is the only person that could do it.
But you gotta understand, in order to reverse engineer something, you first gotta understand the technology to reverse engineer it.
I'll give you this example, Baara, because look, in a perfect scenario, literally in the interrogation, Shikamaru, Naruto, and I think when Sasuke was there too, all of them was perplexed when Amado was breaking down the Shibai cell thing. And at this point in the game, it's like
they're simpletons.
They were
because he knows. He was told
because he's like, bro, because they're like, you're taking abilities from one person and transferring over to another, and that's never been heard, with the sole exception of a dojutsu, right? Because in this case scenario, you say everything. Listen, in this case scenario, if you say all right, the outlier is like a dojutsu. You popping in another eyes, that's different. And then Hashirama cells, you're injecting cells with the survival rate, which is crazy, Baara. You're not expected to
But the
survive that.
same thing with Shibai
you got
cells.
someone like Orochimaru, the best he's able to do is literally create glasses to transfer ability from one person to another person. And not only that, the person who ability is transferring, you have to be present in order for it to work. Because when Naruto had the glasses,
can't use the ability. Like
Hinata couldn't use Naruto had the glasses, he took Hinata's Byakugan. And that was the only way, that was the closest Orochimaru came to transferring abilities, aside from his whole curse mark mumbo jumbo. In terms of cleanliness and efficiency and proficiency, Amado beat the game because he's literally giving these cyborgs abilities that they don't have and they're not born with.
I think we're saying it because we didn't necessarily see all the experimentation that he actually did. There was a lot of bad experience that he did. There's a lot of people that died on his operating table. We seen it, of course, it was an anime only episode and stuff like that. So of course, manga readers probably won't necessarily even count it. But he lost a lot of experience. It wasn't like he mastered it and instantly. Oh, anyone who actually got implanted.
It's not that, but he still got the results. He still got the results.
But I think we're glossing over. I think we're glossing over something really important, because reverse engineering someone like Katasuke's tech is one thing, but to go above and beyond and advance it is a whole other thing. Think of it as like Orochimaru. You know,
he just made their tech and made it better.
Yeah, like Tobirama, for example, he created the Edo Tensei, who made it better. Orochimaru. Tobirama invented the what's it called? The flying Raijin, who took it to the next level. Minato got the Rasengan.
What happened when Katasuke looked at Amado's scientific technology? That nigga gave up on sight. He didn't even take it back to the lab.
Would you agree with me though? Would you agree with me? If you're going to reverse engineer some tech, you got to have some type of understanding of it. Like I can't, if you don't know how to create a computer, you can't just go take a computer apart and put it right back together. You got to have some understanding of how the technology works first before you
do it. People do it. Ooh. Like here's my point. You guys are saying Katasuke, not Katasuke. You guys are saying Amado is genius for being able to not only reverse engineer it, but take it to different levels. He's privy to information that these other scientists don't have. Hypothetically, I don't even. Matter of fact, yeah, I'm not even gonna say Orochimaru. I'm gonna say Katasuke. Hypothetically, if Katasuke somehow came across information from a bunch of scientists all across the shinobi world, he'd probably be able to do the same thing as well. He just didn't have that information. Amado probably had that information.
But Amado, at the end of the day, for the most part, and especially in the manga, only really had Katasuke's information. So
he had multiple people's information.
But I'm talking about mostly in the manga, because we got to remember, Amado by himself was a master at cloning technology. And then they stole, at least in the manga, because, of course, in the anime, they do have multiple sources, but at the very least in the manga, most of their spying and most of their work was done in the Hidden Leaf Village, where they took when they took Katasuke's tech, they took his information, and they reversed engineered it and made it better. Like even Katasuke had to throw in the towel.
I don't know if I don't know if he only reverse engineered Katasuke's ability, Katasuke's inventions. He could have had multiple different scientists reverse engineered all of theirs and then put it into one experiment. We don't know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna say this, Baara. Yeah, I was quiet because I was just thinking. I'm gonna join your side, Gabe. I'm gonna join your side because I get that Amado's been someone like Orochimaru, he might be able to do that. He might just be able to do that too. Yeah, you're right. Because I'm thinking about it. If we go to like their best creations from nothing, bro, like you got a Delta and you got a Mitsuki. In terms of pure creation, in terms of like what they did, and we know what they started with. Amado's blueprint was his dying daughter. Orochimaru's blueprint was himself in a hypothetical sage mode that he never mastered. And then we got Mitsuki and Delta. Which one do y'all think is the greater creation?
But see, here's the issue. You have Orochimaru, who is collaborating with the village, who can look at Katasuke's stuff, and is someone who generally does a shit ton of research and loves to learn more. So if Orochimaru
we know Mitsuki was a secret. We know he was a secret. He was a secret aside from Naruto, and I think even Shikamaru. Nobody else really knew about him. in
I
terms of
agree,
like
but
where
like
he really came
Would you
from.
call Orochimaru more like a jutsu genius than rather than like a technological genius?
I
Like
mean,
mean,
because
I
he
if
know
you
does
look
he
at what
he
he
have.
could be both
created,
within
say so.
stuff.
that's essentially the basis of what they both did, right? Because Amado, I ain't gonna lie though, what he did was crazy because he literally recreated a person, but at the same time, Orochimaru created two people, like with two, like Law got his own identity, and Mitsuki, as we see, he's developing and got his own identity, even though they came from the same blueprint. So it is kind of crazy. If I gotta really think about it, I'm not gonna lie. Amado was smart though, but like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. He had an advantage. He did have an
But
advantage. He
see,
had an
here's the
advantage.
issue: how many super
But make
genius
having an advantage
scientists?
make you less smart though? Like make you less intelligent? I don't understand. Like, because you can have all the information in the world. If you can't do nothing with it, then what the fuck
Nah,
are
nah.
you then? Like,
I'm shifting my stance to basically someone else could have done what Amado did, put
This is
him
what
in
I'm
his
saying.
position.
but they didn't.
I brought up a model earlier, but let's take it further. Let's say Orochimaru gets information from all these different scientists with all the resources that the Kado organization had at that point, given through I forgot old man's name, but given through him. I think Orochimaru could probably do the same thing.
Yeah. But Orochimaru's goal was basically to create life from nothing, and he accomplished that. And Amado's goal is to basically bring his daughter back to life. And you can say he accomplished. I mean, are we counting the fact that she doesn't have the same personality, but she has the memory? Like she remembers everything she remembers from her life, but it's just that she's not a Kebi.
Let me go even further. I think Orochimaru, if his daughter died, hypothetical, of course he doesn't have a daughter. If his daughter died and he wanted to bring her back, I trust him to do it before Amado.
All he would have did is just make fucking curse seals and have
I
her
mean,
just
to be
reincarnating through
fair,
everybody else from curse seals. That's all.
do we think Katasuke is like the standard for like super genius humans in Naruto or Boruto?
I mean,
Even
if we go by the accolades,
he's smart, but
he's smart as fuck.
But like Katasuke is one of their best, if not their best. He's the one who made those ninja tech advancements that Kara noticed and stole. And even Katasuke, after spending months looking over Amado's tech and just the tech that's been used in general, he even says this is beyond human intellect. So this is a Katasuke who knows of Orochimaru, who knows how Mitsuki works and functions, who knows how he was made. And even Katasuki saying, this is hard, but like having now witnessed numerous tech
I might jump ship
beyond
again.
human intellect, like at the airship crash site,
even
if Kawaki's body, I cannot see
weak, bro.
Well, wait a second. Even if that's the case, quote unquote, beyond human intellect, we've been beyond human intellect. He's literally working alongside an Otsutsuki member. He's literally working alongside someone who's not human.
The Otsutsuki member was not that smart though. Like,
well, no one's saying
he got tricked by a shadow clone, bro. Come on now, we can't.
Nah, Ishiki is smart,
especially
in regard. Ishiki is smart, especially in regards to things like that. He's smart. Now,
if
Ishiki
was so smart, he wouldn't have needed Amado in order to get like. All right, so like we have. I guess you can say that he gave Jigen the Karma Cell, but why is he scientifically trying to give somebody the Karma Cell when you have a Momoshiki who just touches you and bam, you got a Karma Cell?
Free game.
Well, he was in the body of Jigen, so that was a little bit different.
I brought that up. That's why I was like, maybe he gave it to
But I'm
Jigen,
gonna add on to Free Game's thoughts. If Ishiki was this super genius scientist, right, and the Otsutsuki are this super technologically advanced, let's say the Otsutsukis are also like light years ahead of humans in the tech department. Why didn't Ishiki just Dr. Stone this shit and make these tech advances 1,000 years ago to get his vessel? Why did he have to wait for humanity to advance? Why did he have to wait for someone like Amado to come along?
I feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over. It wasn't just Ishiki's technology that went into whatever Kawaki is. It was multiple different scientists. Amado wasn't here thousands of years ago. I'm pretty sure the scientist from the Cloud Village wasn't here thousands of years ago. And I'm pretty sure all the scientists that they stole stuff from wasn't here thousands of years ago. It's not just one scientist. It's not just one scientist technology that goes into
intelligence, though. Not these scientists. We're talking about Ishiki's intelligence.
It doesn't need to be just Ishiki's intelligence. First things first. I'm not necessarily saying that Ishiki himself is a scientist. Just him having information from the Otsutsuki clan is enough for Amado to decode that. Of course, put that into his own experiments. That is enough. Like hypothetically,
But then at that thought, you're taking alien technology and then you're making it your own, though.
Yes, that's not crazy. Amado himself could.
Not crazy.
Amado can manipulate chakra. Like,
but see, here's the situation. I agree with you. These scientists weren't here 1,000 years ago, but if we're talking about alien level technology or alien level intelligence, if Ishiki was that guy, why didn't he just take that data for himself, big brain it out, and make the things himself? He specifically needed someone like Amado to do the science work. Doesn't that imply that Ishiki by himself can't figure out the bulk of that?
Yes, he's not a scientist. I'm not saying that he could have done that. I'm saying that he had information that made it easy. Well, not necessarily easy, but made it possible to create someone like
possible.
But doesn't that mean he needed someone like Amado specifically, and that there's not a lot of like he couldn't just take a run-of-the-mill scientist?
Yes, you're right. But it's not just. You're right. But it's not just specifically only Amado. Amado is one guy. He could have got another scientist.
Yes, but the whole point is the amount of scientists at that level, you can count them on one hand. So he didn't really have a lot of.
I disagree. I disagree.
Well, name some other scientists.
Those are the ones that we know of. Those are the ones that we know of. He spoke of other scientists. He didn't necessarily say only the ones that we've seen. Well, he didn't necessarily have to say that, but he's implying that there are more scientists out there that he got information from. It's not just the ones that we've seen.
Well, I mean, every genius scientist takes other people's take other scientists like fucking inventions or whatever you want to call it, or their genius, and then builds upon it. That's what makes you a great scientist. Like he's not just going to go in there and then just like be like, oh, okay, we have these other scientists come in, fuck with everything they built upon. Let me just start from scratch. No, he's going to take some of their stuff and then perfect it.
Yeah, I mean, that's most scientists, but I'm saying Amado is not unique in a situation where it's only him that could have came up with all these information.
No scientists are unique thing. Then, like, if we want to say IRL, you can say Albert Einstein wasn't shit because he got a lot of his information from Nikola Tesla. Like, it doesn't, like, it really doesn't make any sense who you get the information from. If you know it and you know how to utilize it, then that makes you who you are.
Exactly. So we shouldn't necessarily put all the quote unquote deaths of children specifically solely on Amado. And if Amado didn't work with Ishiki, none of those would have happened. That's not realistic. Because Ishiki would have found another scientist that had his own goals.
Well, I mean, you gotta have the scientific intuitive, and you gotta have Ishiki's morals at the same time in order to work with him. Like, it's probably other scientists who wouldn't have took the job just for the morality of it.
I don't even think you need that. It just, first things first, you need a scientist that's afraid to die. First things first. But also,
you got a point there.
You could find a scientist who really wants
he got a point. He makes a valid point though. You just find a scientist that don't want to croak out, and then he'll do it.
Yeah,
but that is a great intimidator. Yeah.
But I also feel like though you needed someone special, because at that point, why didn't Ishiki just like take a kid off the street, raise him up, send him to school? There, you have your loyal scientist. I feel like you need someone with like a crazy amount of intelligence. I mean, even look at what Amado was doing pre Ishiki. He already was a master at cloning technology, which was something that, from what we can see, the only one who kind of perfected it was Orochimaru. I mean, we've seen what the Stone tried; they were imperfect. So just Amado by himself being able to make perfect clones to the extent of copying memories and digitizing these memories and just putting them into clones perfectly puts him at a similar, if not greater level of Orochimaru. And this is just Amado pre.
I don't even think that.
Jigen.
Did we shift it to Orochimaru versus Amado? Did we shift it to Orochimaru versus Amado?
Yeah, kind of, but I was about to say again, I don't necessarily think Amado's smarter than Orochimaru. I think if Orochimaru had the same information that Amado had, he'd probably be able to do what he's doing and probably even better.
And I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that 100%. But like using them as a reference, at that point in time, the only other person we know of who mastered cloning technology was Orochimaru, and then we see the Stone Village, a massive superpower, massive amounts of money. They couldn't even make perfect clones. So, it feels like at the very least, you're knocking out a whole nation of scientists that aren't up to par. So really, how many undisclosed scientists could there necessarily be if we haven't really heard of them? Like, there's only, I would say there's only, if like, again, it's something like you can really count on one hand how many of these super geniuses there are, because we know at the very least,
Well, first things first, we don't even know where Amado himself came from. Amado could have not even been a part of a ninja village. Like, he could have had, from his own hometown. There could be multiple scientists that knows what he knows.
I mean, that's fair, but like, you know, if a whole village can make cloning tech, you'd think something would be researched there or something.
Yeah,
someone would inquire
from
that.
The village of tech.
Like if they're a dime a dozen,
then the iPhone village, Apple village, yeah.
I don't know about that. First things first, villages themselves, of course, I'm not even talking about where Amado's from because we don't fully know where Amado's from. But villages themselves, they don't necessarily disclose all of their findings and scientific experiments and stuff like that. Especially if it could potentially help
they're not a part
their
of
military power, like cloning. Like, I don't think that's something that people would just willingly, all willy-nilly give away. So if hypothetically a village did, let's say hypothetically the Cloud Village actually did perfect cloning, I don't think anyone would probably even know about it.
Even if I like entertain what Baara saying, like if it's an outside village, they probably wouldn't know nothing about their technological advances as well, because they don't have to share anything with the 5 great nations.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't we get references to the Leaf being the most advanced village currently technologically wise because of Katasuke? So of the 5 great nations, Katasuke is it. Like, if you gathered all 5 Kage and you told them to send out your best scientist, barring Orochimaru, Katasuke is him. Katasuke is that guy. So like, we're knocking out 5 great nations, and then you have your outliers like Amado, who wasn't known. And that just makes it seem like, yeah, other than like your hermits and your crackpot sites who no one knows about, it still feels like you can count these guys on one hand. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but like,
how many more Amados are there out there that we don't know about?
Well, I was about to say that. Let's entertain
10, 20.
Let's say like Amado came from a village where the jutsu is intelligence. Like, you know, everybody there just have a high level of intelligence because that's their jutsu. Just throw shit out there. Like, what if there is mad Amados out there?
It's like a nigga that ain't got nowhere to go out the hood, but he like, bro, if I was in a league, I'd be killing all these niggas right now, bro. He just ain't got the contract, bro. So it's like, if this might be a scientist out there that's just playing in the mud and dirt, he like, man, these niggas don't know, bro. They just don't know.
If I had a computer, I'll rip shit up right now, bro.
Like, what?
But that's what I'm saying. And I think the fact that we don't know where Amado came from, we never even heard of this guy. I think it just supports the claim that there could be scientists out there that we just don't know about, that Ishiki himself, who probably scoured the planet for over 1,000 years, probably knows about. We probably don't know, but Ishiki and Amado
don't know about, because Ishiki is fucking stupid. But
the fact that the stuff Ishiki pulled on Amado makes me believe that he probably done that to multiple different scientists already.
No, I would agree with you. Like, over 1,000 years. Like,
no,
recycled scientists until he got to Amado.
Yeah.
No,
I doubt Amado's the first and only scientist he worked with. He had to work with.
No, yeah, true. I agree with that.
I do want to correct myself. The fact that Ishiki did what he did to Katasuke, and it makes me believe that he could have done that to multiple different other scientists out there, and there probably are multiple different scientists out there.
I mean, if he did, I mean, if we go with the implication that he did take multiple scientists in the last few decades, that means they failed. Either if they did work with Jigen, that means
I don't think
you also got to count in the ones who like running the day-to-day operations and shit like that. So he definitely had other scientists, but like in terms of like head scientists, he definitely probably had different people where he thought maybe they could have been a one, and eventually he just came across Amado.
I don't even think it needs to be that.
And then they wasn't up to his liking, so he chopped their fucking heads off. Like, yeah, you're not it.
True.
I mean, I can see that happening though. You know, honestly, kill him off. I thought you were smarter than this.
I thought you were stronger.
Wait, real quick, say that again. I don't want to cut your question off.
No, I just said I thought I was mimicking Mark from Invincible. Oh. You said you were stronger. I thought you were stronger.
Well, I'm saying, just to bring it full circle, I wouldn't necessarily say it's Amado's fault of essentially everything, all the bad stuff that happened before. And I do think he's a bit of a sympathetic figure because he's really just trying to save his daughter. And I get you saying his daughter just quote unquote died. It's not necessarily a revenge thing. But to be honest, I don't necessarily think you need revenge to be the only fuel behind what you're trying to do. I think he's just fueled by love, his love of his daughter.
Ain't no love, bro. He sacrificed his morals. he sacrificed his morals to bring, like, low key, bro. If somebody, think about it realistically, bro. If somebody were to sacrifice their morals to help you, in terms of like anything, it's like drastically to the point where like, yeah, they help you, but you ask them what they did to do it, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, that's a whole different thing, bro. Like, come on, bro. This nigga was killing kids. He was killing kids.
And then like you kind of can like blame Amado for everything that's going on, right? All his technology is the reason for what's going on in the leaf and everything.
I can't say everything that's going on.
Over this.
He made Ada the one who switched everything for Boruto and Kawaki. He made he made what's his name? Cold is the ones who created the Shinju. So like he's indirectly responsible for a lot of shit.
Yeah, his fingerprints are indirectly on a lot of the things that's going on.
We went over this. Another scientist would have been in his position, but even if he didn't work with Ishii.
Well, we're not talking about hypotheticals though right now. We're talking about what's actually
Amado is the nigga that did this. But I'm directing it more so. I'm more so directing it towards Kawaki in terms of how he should feel about, because like his hatred should be deeper for Amado than it is for Boruto. Like, that's what I don't get. Like, Ada's mind is in the right place. Like, nigga, you operated on my body without my consent. And you doing all this weird shit, bro.
I disagree. His hatred is in the correct
I don't think
spot.
he cares. But yeah. I don't about to say,
it's on Ishii.
That's Kawaki's fault. Like,
it's on Ishii. Why am I wasting time on the pawns?
But you know,
we wasting time on the pawns. It's on Ishiki. Ishiki is the guy that made him.
The nigga dead, Amado. The nigga dead. Amado, the one who can.
So he's not supposed to be raped.
Amado can use his dead.
So Kawaki's straight. Like, why would he still be
Amado's still walking, bro? He's the problem. He's an issue that needs to be solved.
But you know, we could low key go through the hypothetical. Like say he picked up Katasuke. Hey, I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that at all. I'm not disputing that at all. Like, but like, say we do go through the hypothetical. Say Katasuke was the guy who was picked. Does that still make it right for Amado to go killing kids just because someone else will do that job? Like, you know, can I now kill this person because someone else is gonna kill them anyway?
Yes, you can.
I never said it was right. I'm replying to the fact that none of this would have happened if Amado didn't do it. That's what I'm replying to. I'm saying, wait a second now.
I'm saying that you can't sympathize with him regardless of what's happened up until this point, even knowing everything we know. That's my stance. You can't sympathize with someone like Amado.
Nah,
I agree.
I disagree. I feel like if you could sympathize with Sasuke, you could sympathize with Amado.
No, because he's too far gone in a sense where he's seeking. Like, bro, that whole entire shit when he broke out into tears, just don't know what to...
Wait, hold on.
You face, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Get out of my face.
Hold on.
Because he cried?
Hold on.
No, because he's out here seeking help. He's seeking sympathy.
Like, you can sympathize with Sasuke. Come on now. His brother killed his parents. Now, Amado, only thing that happened with...
Well, again,
only thing that happened with Amado is his daughter died from natural causes. Like, what? Why am I sympathizing with a man whose daughter died from natural causes over a guy whose brother killed his whole clan for...
Now let's emphasize what spurred after that. Amado is being forced to do the bad things. Sasuke did them by himself. To be honest, I compare Sasuke to Ishiki before I compare him to Amado.
Wait. Who's forcing him now?
That's crazy.
Who's forcing him? Who's forcing him right now? Like
Sasuke himself gathered a team to do his bidding, which is evil stuff. Which is correct. Ishiki did the same thing, and Amado was part of that team.
No.
Listen, first of all,
y'all brought something up to me last time.
We gotta look at the context in these situations, because if you paint it like that, then it sounds the same when it's not. Sasuke operated like he did, yes, and then he went and he assembled his team. He didn't simply go out to do evil deeds. If you remember, he did it. He strictly operated on a no-kill rule. He operated on a no-kill rule until he came across Danzo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Danzo's free game. This nigga Amado been killing kids for decades.
But also,
how is that comparable?
But also, you
gotta count the point that look. Hold on. But you gotta understand the reason why he did it though. Like, he did it because they wiped out. Wait, hold on. They wiped out his whole clan for essentially no fucking reason. His parents died for essentially
we can sympathize
no
with that. Well, we could sympathize with that, but you guys are
Amado's
acting like
daughter
revenge is
died of
wait a
natural
second.
causes, brother.
You guys are pretending that revenge is the only thing that'll drive you to do something. Why are we pretending that?
But see, here's the issue.
A nigga get influenza and he died. I ain't finna go out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
for real, like he died of natural causes, brother.
But see, here's the issue.
War with God because my child died from fucking measles, bro. I'm not doing that.
But again, Amado wasn't working as malicious as Sasuke was. He wasn't.
But see, here's the issue. We're acting like Jigen forced him. Jigen came up here with a business proposition. Amado accepted. Like, we know that Jigen was pretty chill for the most part. He even said, "Yo, are you sure you want to sell your son to me? You'll never see him. Like, I'm okay if you say no. That's fine. But if you want it, here's the money."
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I wonder what would have happened if he would have said no. I wonder how.
we literally seen it we literally seen it after one of the experiments died. Amado said, "Whoa, wait a second, Ishiki, we gotta chill." He said, "No."
I mean, let's be fair,
what are you talking about?
You gotta think about it. You gotta think about it like this. Look. But like, also too, like, could you call Ishiki evil? Like, that's in his DNA. That's what he does. That's like calling humans evil for eating cows.
Ishiki's a different thing. Like that's a whole different thing. Like, Amado himself, he's a scumbag.
But also, let's think about this on the Jigen situation. If he really was gonna renege on this deal, he could have easily killed Kokatsu to cover his track. Nah, he said, "Yo, here's your money. Have a nice day." For all we know, Kokatsu's still alive, or he just drank himself to death. Like, we don't know. Even on the situation with Naruto, he said, "Yo, I didn't want to fight. I didn't come here to fight. If you give me back my son, I will leave your village alone."
Boy,
like, he only had a
bag, bro.
Don't say he's rude.
The fact that Jigen was just carrying around that sack, bro. Jigen he's a
pretty chill guy. No,
he was chill.
So he is a chill guy. No one's saying that he's not a chill guy. He even excused himself for not having for wearing slippers in Naruto's room. But my point is, I made it a bit earlier. If Amado wasn't there, another person would have been in the spot. First things first. But also, Amado had a goal as well. And I'm not saying that he was right for doing what he did, but I'm saying he had a reason. It wasn't necessarily like, again, if it wasn't him, none of this would happen. I think there would have been other scientists in this spot.
And let's say there was, like, I still don't feel like that gives me sympathy for Amado because he's still choosing to do it. Like, you know, if you rob a bank because someone else was gonna do it, I don't got sympathy.
Sasuke chose to do what he did. What are we talking about? But this is what I'm talking about. It's like a feeling.
Yeah, and I have no sympathy. I have no sympathy for Sasuke abandoning the village. I can still acknowledge that he paid his dues. You know, at the end of the day, the Uchiha massacre aside, Sasuke went to Orochimaru for the wrong reasons. It just happened to turn out all right. At the end of the day, he was still abandoning what he thought was his home village. Just like how I give Kawaki a hard time of trying to kill Boruto for the wrong reasons. The ends don't justify the means. Sasuke, I can't feel sympathy for Sasuke for going to Orochimaru, because at the end of the day, working with the information Sasuke has, this man killed his Hokage and killed people of his village, and Sasuke chose to abandon that village. I feel no sympathy for Sasuke in that regard. Just like I feel no sympathy for Amado doing all this for his dead daughter when we have millions of people losing their children every single day.
Well, like, I'd say I'd agree with that, and I wouldn't necessarily have smoke with you. My smoke would be then for Black Uchiha, who said he would be sympathetic for Sasuke, but not Amado. I don't get.
I would be sympathetic for Sasuke and not Amado. Yes.
Yes. But and even Obito, like, that's even worse. What are you doing here?
Okay, so check this out. Rise's stance is very understood in terms of his take in, like, Sasuke leaving the village and feeling like, okay, he didn't need to do that. He can't sympathize with that fact. I sympathize with Sasuke's overall grand scheme of things because his whole entire notion was the cards are laid out in front of him. So now you choose what you want to do with what you have. So every time Sasuke had updated information, his stance was either shifted or his alliances turned, because the things that were at his disposal were at his was not completely at his digression. So when it comes to Sasuke, it's like He wasn't out here like, oh, I'm gonna lead a village and I'm gonna murk every single person in here, bro. Like I'm gonna come back and be on that. Now he had that stance a couple times, but like I said, every time he gets updated information, his alliances or his stance always shift, and that always tracks and follows. With Amado, it's one track is one thing. We know his daughter died of the measles. She had red pox. Boom. He is not having that. So he's gonna clone and do all this research, this, that, and the third, inevitably end up creating a whole new existence who just so happens to look like his daughter and have her memories. It's not essentially what he wanted, but that was his result. It's not enough.
One thing I just want to point out, that's part of his trauma as well.
Okay, but even at that point, it goes back to, like I said, when you're already at a point where what you're doing, be grateful for what you got. So just because Delta come back cursing and you never heard a kitty say fuck a day in your life, she could still remember her 5th birthday. She could remember her 5th birthday at this point. But he said, no, that's not enough, right?
I can't.
I need more. I need more. So at this point, Deegan comes. Who knows? He probably dropped the bag and he's like, this what we doing. He said, bet. Nigga brought the first kid. He said, huh? Okay, cool. Let's transfer this over. Kid died. Deegan brought another. And then 2 more after. And then he's like, huh? Nah, they dying. He keeps on going. He keeps on going. He gets told. He gets Kawaki. After the first nigga before Kawaki dies, before Kawaki comes in, he's like, nigga, I ain't gonna lie, Jigen. This is enough. Then that's when his moral compass starts to kick in. It's like at that point, bro, you're far gone. Because when the first kid even walked in the room, I'm asking questions. What's going on? What are we doing? Who's this? Where's his mom?
What kind of stocks and bonds Jigen was investing in? That man had a sack, bro.
So it's
buying
like
kids is crazy.
It's like how can I sympathize? How can you expect it to be crazy for me to sympathize with Sasuke and not Amado when the cards are played out right in front of us, where Sasuke was manipulated his entire life and he always chose the choice he thought that was best for him, and he always acted. He made it a point. He's acting in self-interest for him and what he believes his clan should be restored to be. So his goal was self-oriented the entire time, right? So he made sure to keep that within, like Sasuke operating on a no-kill rule. For a nigga in most stories, for a nigga who had his clan wiped out, what nigga operating under a no-kill rule?
He didn't operate like that with Naruto, Sakura, what's his name?
With the sole exception of the people you know.
His name.
With the sole
Wait, he didn't operate like that when they visited him the first time in episode 80 something. He didn't operate like that. He tried to kill Team 7. What are we talking about here? He tried to kill multiple people. Like even before he created
every person Sasuke tried to kill in Shippuden up until a point to where he got to Danzo, it was somebody he knew. So it was either Naruto or basically somebody from Team 7. So that's a personal. That's when it comes. That's why we have in judicial systems we have civil court and actual you know what I'm saying public or private defense.
I would say like Sasuke was trying to kill them because Sasuke know that those are the only people that can hold him back from completing his goal. Like those are the only people that can actually like talk him off the ledge. He didn't want that. He was trying to be far gone. Like he wasn't trying to get talked off the ledge at that point.
What about
and on top of that, did he kill them? And on top of that, did he kill them? And on top of that,
he almost did. Orochimaru didn't stop him.
Did she die though? Did Karin die though?
Oh my damn!
Didn't she have a?
Nobody bring the kids back that Amado killed, bro.
A couple busted voice boxes, you know, some hurt feelings.
We talking about egregious actions Sasuke's committing as a soldier in the field against other soldiers. Once I declare you my op, it's fair game. We in the world of ninjas versus a nigga who's not even in the field but killing kids. Like, how does that make? That's fair. Sasuke is in his back. He's in his area. Like, he's a ninja. What do ninja do in this time? They fight. They kill.
I'm gonna play both sides.
Watching Sasuke right now.
But see, I'm gonna play both sides because I like being annoying. But in Sasuke's case,
you guys know ninjas didn't even exist in the past. It blew my mind when I watched that documentary.
But in Sasuke's case, he already decided to be a rogue ninja, and he already cut ties with the village. So in his mind, he already told Naruto and Sakura to leave him alone. They're enemies now. They went to him. Now it's gloves off. I'm not justifying it, but that's his mindset. In Amado's case, you had Jigen traffic kids and throw them on Amado's doorstep, and he made the conscious choice to experiment on the the kids, to accept the deal with Jigen and not walk away at the end of the day.
Literally made a deal with the devil, shook his hand.
Of course, I still don't justify Sasuke.
My thing is,
I'm not saying I'm not saying Sasuke didn't do no wrong. I'm not saying everything he did was right and all that. But Sasuke's moral compass was like, he made sure to keep, like, as far as Sasuke went, no matter what he said, no matter what, like, as what we seen, what we watched throughout his actions, he kept his moral compass throughout his story. He adjusted it, but he always kept his moral compass throughout the entire story.
I don't think so. We even heard proof when Karin was talking about how his chakra was getting darker. Now, specifically with the model, my problem is we're comparing a foot soldier with the actual general of what he was doing. Amado was literally a foot soldier. This is why I keep on to bring up the fact that if it wasn't him, another scientist would have been in this spot. I get the fact that he had to make the conscious decision to do what he did, but it's not like he caused all of this. I wouldn't say that. I'd say Ishii did.
Little side note, and I really don't want to defend Shippuden Sasuke, but we gotta remember Sasuke didn't fall off into that proverbial deep end until the 5 Kage summit. At the very least, while he was fighting B, even when he found out about Itachi, he still cared enough about his comrades to where he had that flashback to Team 7 and risked his life to save Karin and the others.
I can't let you get that off. I can't once he got his Mangekyo Sharingan, what was his stated goal afterwards?
To destroy the village. To kill the elders, destroy everyone in the village. But that's because in his mentality, now I'm not defending it. I'm not defending it at all. I'm just saying in his mentality, the village was now his enemy. Taka was not his enemy at that point.
That's the thing about
was not his enemy. They were allies.
Updated information. So yeah, it's not justifiable, but from his stance, like, we're operating in a world of ninjas. So from his stance, the village becomes his enemy. The village becomes his enemy.
Like, are they not children villagers? Like, are we assuming that he wouldn't have killed children?
Sasuke said, "Fuck them kids, bro."
No, but
what I'm saying. Like, we're talking about watching this guy. Like,
we're talking about. We got your man Kawaki caught in 4K being stopped from assaulting a kid, bro. You ain't never seen Sasuke raise his hand towards a kid.
But see, here's the thing: Sasuke at that point in time was gonna kill a crazy ton of kids because they were Konoha kids. Now we're not saying Sasuke wasn't gonna kill kids. We're talking about the difference between the Sasuke who fought B and the Sasuke in the 5 Kage summits. The Sasuke at the 5 Kage summits went so off the deep end that he didn't care about allies anymore. If you pushed him down, he was gonna let you die. But the Sasuke during the B fight was someone who, if you were an ally, he was gonna try his damn hardest to save you. It's just Konoha stopped being an ally in his mind. And we see this in chapter 414 when everyone's near death. They say, I can't believe Suigetsu is all messed up. Karin says, we're not going to be able to get away. So now what? He's looking at Jugo, Karin, Suigetsu, and he's remembering how they helped him. Hurry up and bite me, Sasuke. Pause. I won't let you die because you're a memento of Kimimaru. I've got it here. Run while you can. Sasuke closes his eyes. He remembers Team 7 back when he had bonds. He awakens his Amaterasu. He uses Amaterasu. He says, so these are the inextinguishable black flames Sasuke mentioned. Whoa. We see this. We see Karin grab them. We see Karin about to get murked. Sasuke defends her. He says, Karin, run. Karin gets hit by the black flames. If this was Sasuke during the 5 Kage summit, he's abandoning Karin. But no, he says, gosh, she's on fire. Jugo even says, let's go dip. Karin's a goner. We need to get away before we get caught too. And then he says, wait, Jugo. No, he turns off the flames because Karin is that person's comrade, and he wasted his eyesight for that. He says, I put it out. And then he says, hurry, Jugo, grab Karin. So this is a Sasuke, while, he's a piece of shit. He wants to kill kids. Sasuke's moral compass on his allies is still to protect his allies no matter what. It's just Naruto stopped being an ally. 5 Kage Summit is doing this differently. But you gotta agree, 5 Kage Summit is abandoning Kari. He's abandoning Suigetsu because they're dead weight. He's telling Jugo, leave them. They're dead weight. They serve no purpose for me. Let's dip. But that's not this Sasuke. This Sasuke is saving his comrades, even at potentially the cost of his life. Like, you know, he sacrificed a shit ton of eyesight to do this, and he could have left and avoided all this and just abandoned Kari and Suigetsu, but he didn't.
I understand. I just don't necessarily think that's relevant. Like, if Amado tries to saving Delta, I don't think that extinguishes what he was trying to do or what he's done.
My point was when you talked about Sasuke awakening his Mangekyo and going off the deep end. I'm saying there's a clear difference between the Sasuke who had just awakened his Mangekyo to the Sasuke who encountered Danzo.
I don't necessarily think the deep end is, he's now killing anybody who comes in his path. I'm saying the deep end is him resoluting to actually destroy the village.
Yes, but there's like levels to it. There's levels. There's always a deeper hole you can go into.
All right, I'll say this. So like I said with this guy Sasuke, he always gets updated information. So even at the point when he was like, all right, I'm gonna destroy the village, at that point in time, he just killed his brother and thought his life's mission was something that he just worked towards. The reason why he even left his village was accomplished. And then he finds out, nah, it was the village the whole entire time. So now his whole entire thing is misconstrued. He can't take back what he just done. So that blood is on his hands. And he can't take away the hatred he genuinely felt for Itachi all these years. But now he's conflicted in terms of like, well, Itachi was in a position to where had he been in that same position, he probably would have done the same thing. So now Sasuke's whole thing is, I got to take out these village elders because they the real problem. But then we get to a point where once he starts to see how things are unfolding and he starts to side on the fourth grade ninja war on the opposition side, yes. And then he goes to the like whole thing where like, all right, I'm gonna go revive these Hokage because I really need to understand what the fuck is going on. Because at this point, Sasuke has been operating as a ninja by himself under his own rules, under his own obligations. So he's like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna join Orochimaru. I'm gonna leave Orochimaru. I'm gonna join the Akatsuki. I'm gonna lead the Akatsuki. This is how he's been operating up until this point. And he went towards the deep end that Baara has been talking about, and then the point that Ryzen mentioned. And I always said up until the point he met Danzo, that's where he mostly kept his moral compass intact. And then at that point, that's when he was like, yeah, actively trying to get kills in the field and purposely trying to hurt people. But even once we get past that point and he gets his perspective from the dead Hokage themselves, he's like, yeah, maybe I was tripping. I don't need to destroy the village. I need to destroy the entire system. How do I do that? I need to kill all the leaders. Now he's still tripping, but you see, updated information, he gets updated stances. So now he's like, fuck it. I'm gonna help them win the war because I can't do what I want to do without no ninja, you know what I'm saying, without no population, no ninjas around. So like everything Sasuke did is really from a face value standpoint, based off of what he's being told, not only what he's being told, but based off of what he knows and what's going on around him at the current point in time. So how can you like everything that he's doing is, like I said, bro, it's self-centered. It operating around his own little bubble. It's affecting him, and inadvertently, everything that's affecting him has a grander effect on the things that are going on around him. He's the last surviving member of the Uchiha clan. His actions are causing repercussions throughout the entire nations. It sparked an inevitable 5 Kage summit, which he inevitably ended up attacking. So that is like, it's not like he's out here trying to, provoke all of these things purposely. No.
Which eventually led to a war, which eventually led to the death of millions of kids. Oh, I won't say millions, but
led to a war,
thousands of children.
I appreciate
the silhouette.
The war that we're gonna act like Sasuke was the whole entire Grandmaster scheme.
He wasn't, but
the war was gonna happen. It was gonna happen regardless of whatever side Sasuke started.
So now it matters if you're the Grandmaster when it's Sasuke. My thing is, everything, your whole entire soliloquy, it was fine and all, but you and Ryzen, what you guys are saying, I don't necessarily think it matters. I don't necessarily think it matters at all. Sasuke himself was actually trying to do things that were quote unquote evil that we wouldn't necessarily recommend. Amado is being a pawn. Amado is taking orders from someone who literally will kill him if he doesn't do it. Okay, these are two
Can you
completely
kind of
different
call
things.
Sasuke a pawn too, though? Like, because Sasuke at the end of the
No,
day, like, no, but look, like, hear me out though. Wasn't Sasuke kind of being like puppeteered by Black Zetsu? Like, not directly. Like,
nah.
Black Zetsu wasn't giving him orders or anything like that, but Black Zetsu was pretty much playing the field because he needed his Indra and Ashura pretty much. So he had to have Sasuke go off the deep end like he did.
No,
but could we even?
To be honest, I'd say Itachi was more of a pawn than Sasuke.
My whole
Way
thing
more
is
of a pawn.
though, if you would have had somebody tell Sasuke to do everything he did in Shippuden, especially knowing how stubborn and hard-headed he was, he probably would have did the opposite. So it's like, it's not his fault that he wasn't a pawn and he was out here making big dog moves, letting his nuts swing, other than Amado, who's deferring to other people. And it's not like we said, Jigen was cool, bro. He could have said no. He could have said no.
No one's saying it's his fault that he's not a pawn, but when we're analyzing morality, we have to take that into account. It's his idea to kill multiple people. It's his idea to go after the village. It's his idea to essentially aid the Akatsuki and literally start the war and actually bring back the idea.
But can we actually call?
No. Because if we're gonna run with that, as far as like how many dark thoughts there are out there in the world, we know it isn't even a study on this. People have dark thoughts or dark impulses that they probably will never act on a day in their life. Compared to,
you know how many times I think about bombing people and I don't?
Compared to like actually murdering children. So as far as Sasuke, he thought like, yeah, I'm gonna destroy it. And first of all, we're gonna clear it up. He never outright said, I'm gonna go out here, I'm gonna kill some kids. He never said that. Now, inevitably, inevitably destroying the village means yes, children will die.
Nah, they would have been. They would have been. What do you call that?
He had the idea. He had the thought. He had the idea. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go destroy the village. I'm gonna go do this, that, and the third. He never acted on that idea. He never acted on that thought.
But hang on, before we sign off on that, before we sign off on this, there might be a statement where Sasuke says, "I will kill every last man, woman, or child," just to be objective. there might be a panel.
I won't be surprised. We're literally trying to say and watch Sasuke. I don't get it.
But if we're talking about like Amado, can we really call Amado a victim though? Because he was, because he was the one who was outsmarting Jigen. He was the one who was plotting Jigen's demise. He was the one who was risking the planet for his daughters.
I mean, at the same time, we gotta wait until Amado's story wraps up too, though, because like if we was like in the middle of Sasuke's story at this point in time too, we'd probably be like, oh, not Sasuke.
They don't take away the fact that Amado looked all those kids that he killed in the eyes, bro. He looked all of them kids in their eyes. He held their hands and helped them into the tubes, bro.
Right, he's like the equivalent to Orochimaru, honestly, bro. So like, if you can't call him Orochimaru, you're not calling Amado, if you can't call it Orochimaru either at his heyday.
Stop it! But I wouldn't even compare him to Orochimaru. Orochimaru again was a general. But speaking of what Ryzen was talking about, Ryzen, I can't even go there completely yet. Amado himself, I don't necessarily. He wasn't necessarily the person doing it. He wasn't doing it. It was Ishiki ordering him around. In regards to him essentially helping kids into the chamber, I get what you're saying, but it would have been another person helping those children into the chamber.
But does that make it right? Because Amado could have stepped away.
And then honestly, look. Hold on, too. Another part to that though, Amado had the tools to create fucking cyborgs that greatly surpassed Jigen. So he really didn't have to do what Jigen told him to do. He was doing it all because he wanted to do it. Let's just be real. He created Damon who's above fucking Jigen. Yeah, like he was doing it all because he wanted to. It wasn't because Jigen was ordering him to.
Plus, don't forget, he never said.
I wouldn't necessarily say.
He never said Jigen showed up and held me against my will.
Right.
No, he appeared like a businessman.
Jigen came like a god, bro. Like,
could you find the panel of when Jigen was essentially experimenting on a bunch of children? Amado said no. What was Jigen's reaction to that?
He didn't say no.
Well, but he go to the panel basically when Kawaki first pulled up. When he first brought Kawaki, basically, that's what you're talking about.
All right, let me.
Yeah, when he said, "All right, let's chill." Now, Ryzen was saying something a tiny bit earlier. I'm not even going to mention the fact that Amado saved the world multiple times already. I'm not even going to mention that yet. Let's get through this.
But see, here's the situation. Would Jigen really get us close or even that far without Amado? That's the real question.
Yes. Yeah,
because
this is the first thing we went through. This is the first thing we went through in this conversation. I think so.
I think he would have went. I think so too.
It's not even about that because we don't even got to circle back to that. It's the main point. It's the main point, in fact, that Amado had a choice throughout all of this, and he chose to stay and attempt to manipulate.
All right.
How about this as well too? We've been talking about this for an hour and 15 minutes. Let's jump to another topic. Hey,
let me just get to the point where Amado essentially saved the world. My point. Everyone says that Sasuke. Well, earlier you guys were saying that Sasuke is a little bit. He redeemed himself a tiny bit. You guys even kind of give the same excuse to Orochimaru, but we still understand that Orochimaru should be in jail.
I ain't excusing Orochimaru for
first. But my thing is, Amado did the same thing. He saved the world multiple different times. Saved the world multiple times in TBV actually, and even
I don't
know. Kawaki saving Boruto's life. That's one.
We didn't save the world. That's to save Boruto.
Which in turn saved the world. We already heard what Kaji Koji said.
We not even moving the goalposts no more. We just evaporated at this point.
He's the person who came up with the plan to destroy Ishiki. Without him, Ishiki would have pretty much followed Boruto.
That's crazy. That's saving the world.
Doesn't even exist no more.
My guy Jiraiya saved the entire ninja world, bro, because he trained Naruto. He's the savior.
If Amado didn't do what he did, Ishiki would have probably been Kawaki right now. Facts. Like, if he didn't backstab Ishiki, like he would have probably got through.
That's true. That's true.
I also gave the hidden leaf a whole piece of information.
Like, but he also created problems that he solved himself, though, bro.
I disagree. He didn't create the Ishiki problem. He didn't.
He created the cold problem.
I guess cold, but no one even cares about cold.
He created the Kawaki problem.
I don't know, bro. Chris the Beast, he shot us a donation about cold, bro.
I mean, hell, you could even argue that he kind of created the Momoshiki problem because if Katasuke wasn't genjutsu to get his tech for Amado, Katasuke never goes in and basically revives Momoshiki to do that whole second run back.
I disagree with that.
Wait, what do you mean by? Wait, hold on. I'm lost. What do you mean?
I mean, we know the only reason why Momoshiki was conscious again and able to attack again and able to implant the karma is because Katasuke basically supercharged him back up with chakra.
Okay.
If Kara never genjutsus him into acting like that, Katasuke never sneaks into Sasuke's
You talk about
portal.
In the movie when he tried to shoots all those jutsus at him because he's trying to make his tech seem like the best thing in the world.
I mean, like I can pull it up right now. I mean, at the end of the day, it's because of Kara that Momoshiki was able to still be conscious. I mean, here it is right now.
Well, first things first, I had my own problems with the idea that the only reason Katasuke was acting out was because he was under Genjutsu. They never even gave us the specific actions that he took that was influenced by Momoshiki's or Katasuke's Genjutsu. Or not Katasuke, Amado's or I guess Kashin Koji's Genjutsu. I don't necessarily. I honestly believe he would have still tried to promote his stuff, even if he wasn't under a Genjutsu. At that particular time, a lot of ninjas themselves didn't necessarily
like
that
what he said,
technology.
Though? Yeah, because we gotta remember in the movie he did it of his own free will, but in the manga, this whole arrogant part, well, it is a part of him. He has inhibitions to where he's not going to do this. He's not going to enter a dangerous area where his Hokage is fighting. He's not going to do this. I know you're still breathing. I'll finish you off with my scientific ninja tool. Momoshiki clinging to consciousness basically supercharges himself, basically does all this because of Katasuke, and we later find out, on...
It wasn't even about the Genjutsu, was it?
that it was the Genjutsu that was bringing out these thoughts from him, which even caused him to do this. So yeah, Katasuke would obey the law in normal circumstances because that's treason.
I just disagree. First thing first, I don't necessarily think that would be treason. I don't even think he broke the law. I don't think it's a law of not necessarily entering a portal to go
I mean, in the movie, he was punished. He was punished in the movie continuity.
Of course, he's punished, but it's not. You don't necessarily have to do something against the law.
He was punished in the anime too.
But we gotta remember. Look at this. Yes, unfortunately, I'm afraid so.
I said at the time. I said at the time, I don't believe him. Flat out, I don't believe him.
I mean, Konohamaru seems to believe him.
Nah,
Naruto seems to believe him.
I respect it.
Baara don't believe
he's
him, though, bro. That's
literally
only
in a suit he's literally in a suit as we speak, attempts to fight against the Kado organization. Like this is this guy. Like
but this is a whole different situation. This is he's on that mission
I just disagree. Until they tell me specifically what the Genjutsu did to Katasuke, I can't believe it. I think the only thing the Genjutsu I believe did was bring his inhibitions down so where they can actually steal his technology.
But maybe Katasuke just used the Genjutsu as an excuse. Hey, bro, I was under a Genjutsu. Just what's your sources? Cite your sources. My sources just trust me, bro. I was under a Genjutsu.
I mean, he says it like we gotta remember that for them to know he's under Genjutsu, someone would have had to eventually sensed it. And he says it was around the time of the Chunin exams. It seems I was placed under Genjutsu and psychologically manipulated by someone. So
my sources just trust me, bro.
But why would the Kado organization manipulate him to go fight against Momoshiki and potentially aid him?
But it wasn't because of that. The Genjutsu brought that, like he said, it brought down his inhibitions. So if Kara never cast the Genjutsu on him, he wouldn't like la-di-da just go in there and just try to go crazy with his ninja tech. We gotta remember.
But that kind of like brings up something that Baara says though. Like, how could you really? Like, all right, so Sasuke, nobody noticed this dude's chakra was manipulated to where he was under a Genjutsu. Like, nobody noticed this.
I mean, that's just Kara. Like you'd have to just give the credit due to Kara.
Bro, I can't. His sources was trust me, bro. Like he just was trying to get out of it. I'm with Baara on this one.
But here's
until they tell us what the Genjutsu was, I can't believe it.
But here's the situation.
That nigga Al was trying to kill him because Al was the one who set the Genjutsu on him.
Actually, you're right, Uchiha. I think they do reference. I think Koji just talked about. Oh yeah, our Genjutsu shit worked. So we might even
in
have
regards
that
to what? But they never explain it. They never explain. Hey, now because he's under a Genjutsu, he's gonna try to promote his times with technology.
Maybe it was like maybe it was like a super subtle Genjutsu where it's just like Ryzen was saying, it was just bringing out his inhibitions. So it was like kind of hard to really tell unless you was really focusing on Katasuke and looking at his chakra network.
But he even says it himself. Like those feelings are in him, but like they're deep down. It's like if you're drunk, you have no inhibitions. If you're drunk and you murder a person, would you necessarily have murdered that person if you were sober?
Yep, sure would have. I'd rather have off.
Again, now
what are you talking about?
Again, now we're just assuming what the Genjutsu actually does. I just believe in that specific moment, they had the Genjutsu placed on him so they could actually steal his technology. Beyond that, I think we're all just headcanning it right now.
Nah, I mean, they're bringing out verbatim stances that he made, though. Like, I don't know. All I know is we got a super chat, and we've been talking about the same thing for an hour and 20 minutes.
All right, what's super chat?
Bart's like, fuck that super chat, bro. I'm trying to get my point across.
No, I'm saying, all right, what's the super chat?
No, I'm just messing with you, bro. Chris the Beast, he shot us a $5 donation. He said, cold things, Boruto's Kawaki. So why is oh shit, my bad, guys. Hold on. My fault. This is so unprofessional. Sorry about that, guys.
What happened?
Oh, y'all couldn't hear that background? Like my TV.
Oh, I just realized it was plans. Now I heard it, but I never really paid no attention to it. That's crazy.
My bad, guys. My bad. Chris the B shot us a $5 donation. He said, "Cold things, Boris hosts Kawaki." So why is he going after Sarada? Did I miss something?
Oh, it's because he saw Sasuke. It's because he saw Sasuke with him. So like he would make the implication that okay, Sasuke Uchiha betrayed the village for Boruto. They seem pretty close. The next line of thought is, okay, if Boruto is training under Sasuke, if he's close to his master, he also saw Boruto reference Sasuke as his master. He's gonna think the next line of thought is, okay, let's go to Sarada. She might be important to him. So he goes to Sarada and he sees Boruto save Sarada. So his next line of thought is basically his theory is confirmed that Boruto cares about Sarada.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think it matters if he's Kawaki or Boruto at that point. Like,
yeah, it's like new memories. Like his new memories show that Kawaki or quote Boruto is close to Sasuke. So that means he's close to the Uchiha.
And would Code have even like known? Because he's not the brightest bulb in the fucking shed. So like, well, he would have known that Boruto and Sardo was even that close if he didn't see it for himself.
No, he
Like
wouldn't
before Ada's omnipotence and everything like that.
Oh yeah, before he wouldn't have. Like he has to see Sasuke. Like he saw Sasuke, so like that's like the connection. Because beforehand he would continue.
No, I was gonna say the thing about it is because like remember back then when Kawaki first went to Code, his first proclamation was like, "Yo, leave the village alone, leave everybody alone, and take me." You know what I'm saying? That was before Boruto. So right now he attaches that memory to Boruto, and then when he sees Sasuke helping him, it just like in his mind it tracks, and then he sees, all right, boom, he gonna test out his theory. He goes to Sarada the very first time, and then boom, he finally catches up to Boruto because Boruto shows up. So like, yeah, it makes sense to him. And then he literally hears Boruto. He's like, "Yo, Sarada, go somewhere and help the villagers and stay alive and shit like that." She's like, "All right." Like they're literally talking right in front of him. And then he's like, "Yeah, so it's game time." So yeah, it makes sense that he knows. At least that's all he would know. Is like at the very least, Sarada is the one.
Yeah. That is a good catch, though.
I know we're moving.
Sometimes that way I raise my eyebrows. Like, about omnipotence.
I know we're moving away from this topic, but we do have definitive proof Katsuki was under Genjutsu because Ino used her jutsu on him and found it in his mind that Kara's control over Katsuki was that's when they discovered he was under Kara's control. So like Ino saw this verbatim. I think it was in the anime, so I can pull it up.
No, I get what you're saying, but I'm saying, what was the Genjutsu? Even if you say he was under the control of the Kado organization, did the Kado organization want him to go into that other dimension and feed Momoshiki chakra?
But see, it's not that specifically. It's they wanted his tech, but the situation is the Genjutsu warped his personality because Ino, Ibiki, Shikamaru, they all attribute. It's not assuming they all attribute his actions to the Genjutsu. After Ino confirmed he was under Genjutsu by going in his mind. So I feel like Ino can make the distinction of, whether he was under Genjutsu. Like she says, it's basically like you hired Ino to do a job. It said, "Boss, he's under a Genjutsu." I looked into his brain. I can pull it up.
No, I'm saying she said he's under a Genjutsu. I'm not down with the fact that he's under a Genjutsu. I'm saying we don't know what the Genjutsu does. So we can't attribute this to the Genjutsu.
But we also got to remember that Katsuki was shocked by his actions after being removed from that Genjutsu. So he didn't say, "No, I would have did this either way." He seems shocked as a whole, that whole shooting exams fiasco, including him going into the portal, blasting Momoshiki.
I must be under Genjutsu because I remember him saying he would have did it whether the Genjutsu was active or not.
He says that's his personality. That's the thing. Okay, it's an inhibition thing. Like those weren't fake emotions. It's just It goes back to inhibitions. Like intrusive thoughts. I have these intrusive thoughts, but I might not act on them unless my inhibitions are gone.
Right. But how does that aid the Kado organization in stealing his technology? How does his inhibitions being low just make him automatically give up all of his technology to the Kado organization? How does the Genjutsu?
Like at that point, he's like, "Fuck it, take it."
Stop it! I just don't understand. You have to explain how the Genjutsu works.
I mean, if you have no inhibitions on that, don't that mean you're just like on a natural fuck it high? Isn't it? Isn't that what that means?
I mean, if we think about it, I don't think. That's a bad example. Let's move on to a different topic, and I'll look into what Eno said.
Well, Ryzen. Well, since we're here, you supposed to give Black his W for whatever.
I thought you forgot about that.
No, fuck no, I ain't forget about that, bro. I don't never forget about W's and L's on this podcast.
Yeah. But okay, so in the last pod we talked about there potentially being a Naruto card game announcement, and I talked about them going into part 1.
That's not Black. He gonna get his W's.
Black said, we got to go with Shippuden, which now I see is the case. But I also still call loophole So, long story short, we did
hold on. Ryzen don't want to. He don't want to admit his L, bro. He was like, "No, I'm calling loophole on this one."
I am, but I still admit my loss. Uchiha got the W.
They're still gonna drop some part 1 cards, or they're just gonna strictly do Shippuden and up.
So we got the announcement, and from what I understand, Shippuden's gonna be the main thing at the start with some original part 1 cards. But the situation is not cut and dry because there is another Naruto card game called Naruto Mythos. They have the rights to part 1, so they're doing Shippuden to differentiate like the card games.
Are they gonna? So Naruto Mythos, that's already out.
Yeah, that's out in the EU, and it's coming out in the US in a couple months. But from what I understood and from what I've heard, Mythos has the anime rights of part 1, so they're stuck in part 1 for the foreseeable future. Bandai has the manga rights, so from what it looks like, they're starting off in Shippuden so that they don't get they don't step on each other's toes and get the card games mixed up from a business standpoint. That's my loophole, but I'm gonna still call it a loss. Like that's a big W to you. We're getting Shippuden. Like this is Kishimoto drew this little art piece.
Because this is the one from Bandai though. Right?
Yeah. So this is the one where Kishimoto is like involved. Mythos, they just bought the license, you know, to use Naruto IP. But we have this from Kishimoto, and he says, Naruto card game, the world of Naruto continues to grow. I hope these cards can make their way into all your hands and hearts. So we know maybe we'll get some Kishimoto art cards or something in the future.
If the game is actually cool, if not, I don't know. I don't know. I ain't gonna lie. I might just have to.
They gotta play it like they play it in Boruto for me to even care.
100%. I agree.
I ain't gonna buy nothing until I see maybe, but yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah, that's like I don't know. Never mind. A bad example.
Let's make a stupid example. To me.
Yeah. At this point, if I attempt anything, bro, it's for me to get back into Yu-Gi-Oh, and I doubt I'm doing that wholeheartedly. So,
bro, the way you told me everything changed up, ain't no fucking way I'm getting back.
It's quiet, gang. I'm not.
What?
Purely aesthetics.
Bro, I'll just get the cards just to look at them because there ain't no fucking way I'm about to relearn the whole card game.
Yeah,
all right. I know we don't want to
just math.
I know we don't want to pivot back to this. But
here we go.
Here's the situation. I don't know if it fully
Baara gonna
explains
get started, or you gonna get started.
That's why Baara don't get. No, we can go back.
I don't know if it fully explains it.
I still got a couple things I want to.
I still
have a couple points I want to.
But here it is. Upon interrogation, it appears Scientific Ninja Tools Division Special Jonin Tono Katasuke was under some sort of psychological manipulation from the outside. Naruto says, what? He was being controlled? You know, he did seem a bit off during the exam. The hex has worn off and he's back to himself, but he's been in shock since learning the truth. It looks like he was made to act in ways that benefited the enemy without realizing it. There's evidence he leaked intel on the Scientific Ninja Tools too. That's also a situation that him also leaked Ninja Tools, but he's also acting in a way to not benefit the village. What about Boruto's misconduct? No, I believe that was simply Katasuke cleverly leading him on. Even a powerful hex becomes easier to detect the more people it's placed on. I don't think the enemy would take that risk. So that was Boruto acting on his own. So like, Boruto wasn't under Genjutsu. It was just, Genjutsu hexed Katasuke acting without inhibitions and acting in a way to benefit the enemy, just leading Boruto on. We don't know everything.
Baara's question is, what was the Genjutsu?
This is what I'm saying. What do you mean aid the enemy?
I mean, you'd have to ask Ibiki and Ino and Sai.
No, he's asking you, Ryzen. I can't ask Ibiki and them because
I got the report same as you guys. They're telling me he was controlled. He's saying, "Oh, I'm in shock that I did this horrible thing."
Yeah, we know for a fact. Jigen almost peed on himself when he thought that Sasuke had the karma seal. He didn't want any of this to happen. Like he never wanted Momoshiki to pass on any sort of karma seal.
Here's the situation: Momoshiki coming to Earth at that point in time, at that specific place, wasn't in their plans. They just had Katasuke act in a way to harm the Leaf Village. So they didn't expect Katasuke to go help Momoshiki. It's just that was a happy accident for Momoshiki, to where Katasuke is already acting weird. So he sees Momoshiki, him under Genjutsu is gonna go showcase his ninja tech, and that helps Momoshiki out. They didn't necessarily want to help Momoshiki. It's just their actions unintentionally let Momoshiki benefit from Katasuke.
Wait a second. Define weird, because what we saw wasn't necessarily a Katasuke who was willing to give up scientific technology information to Momoshiki or anyone else. We didn't see that. And to be honest, I might even say Kashin Koji went there and took the information by force.
I mean, you would have to call Ibiki a liar, because he says there's evidence he himself leaked.
All this happened off panel, bro. Off screen.
I believe Ibiki when he says he's under Genjutsu, and of course he was quote unquote being controlled. I don't necessarily know how far that extends. Was he being controlled up until the point where Ino figured it out and released it? I gotta disagree with that. I have to. Was he controlled after the punishments? Was he controlled during the punishments?
I mean, it's never referenced after the Boruto learning that he was under Genjutsu. So, like, we have to admit that this might be the definitive file, because they never went back to it. And, you know, he even says, all right, Sai, Ibiki, you two keep investigating this. Shikamaru, you deal with Katasuke. Roger, he's still a talented scientist, so I'll tread carefully. It's like, you know, the fact that they didn't get any other leads, the fact that they said, okay, after our investigation, we're going to reinstate Katasuke, means that their best shinobi couldn't find anything that suggested that Katasuke acted fully on his own. Like, there's still that Genjutsu issue where he's manipulated in a way to act out.
I think that just stems from the lack of information that they have. Like, even when they're explaining to Naruto, they're not really explaining what the Genjutsu was. I'm surprised that Naruto didn't even ask that. Like, who placed the Genjutsu? Naruto didn't even ask that.
I mean, that's what they're trying to figure out. They don't know who did it.
I thought you said Ao did it.
Yeah, but they don't, at this point in time, they don't know who did it. They just know a Genjutsu is not. They're not they're not saying maybe he's under Genjutsu. No, they interrogated him. They had Ino show up. She found evidence of a Genjutsu. She found once it was released, once it wore off, Katasuke confirmed, shit, I'm surprised I did this. Oh my god, I am shocked. So, like, are we not taking Katasuke being shocked at face value? Everything, like, yeah, he says, like, I have these emotions, but at the end of the day, he was still in shock. Like,
I don't know, bro. When I used to get caught as a kid doing shit, and I know I was doing it, and I still like, oh my god, I can't believe that.
That's 100% fair. That's 100% fair. But again, we have Ino, who can literally look into people's minds, look into people's memories.
Wait a second. Explain this to me. When did Ino actually figure out that he was under Genjutsu? How far past the Chunin exam was that?
This was in the Mujina Bandits arc. So
in the Mujina Bandits arc. So we're saying there was copious amounts of time, not only just, I'm talking about in-series time, where he was still under Genjutsu and no one noticed. He was still going about his days like he was Katasuke himself.
But see, here's the situation. So you have chapter 10, right? Chapter 10, Momoshiki dealt with, right? So chapter 10, Katasuke is under custody at this point. So chapter 10, he's under custody. They're doing the whole investigation. He's not allowed to walk free. So we have chapter 10, and then we go to chapter, let's see.
I think also, Baara, like, they didn't have a reason to really look at him and be like, oh, you're under a Genjutsu, until he actually did what he did. Then it was like, oh, why is he acting like that? And they did research and found out, oh, this nigga's been under a Genjutsu this whole time.
Hang on, actually, let me
find. Beforehand, they didn't have a reason to investigate him. Like, there was no reason to investigate Katasuke, because all he was doing is what he was supposed to do, his job.
But Baara,
doesn't that lead into doesn't that lead into my point? The Genjutsu didn't affect what he was doing.
But Baara, here's the situation. Chapter 10 is when the Momoshiki fight ended. So chapter 10, they take him in custody. Chapter 11, they figure it out. So it was a relatively short amount of time.
There's a time skip between those two.
Yes, but you know, an investigation.
Yo, Baara's not about to concede.
But see, here's the thing: an investigation is not going to take an hour,
bro. It was a time skip between
chapter
11 and 13, 11 and 12.
We know there was.
But see, here's the thing: they're not letting him go free. They had him in custody up until this point. They investigated this whole time, so it's not like they let him go free while still under Genjutsu. No, they said, okay, Katasuke betrayed us for some reason. He's doing all this weird shit. In Naruto's point of view, I specifically told this man, no scientific ninja tools. What does he do? He gives my son a ninja tool, eggs him on, completely goes against my authority, and then even worse, when this invasion happens, he butts into the mission when he was unauthorized.
What the hell is pimples
basically revives the enemy. Once that's done, he's taken into custody, at least in the anime manga continuity, and in the movie, of course. In the movie, he that's him. He's just a piece of shit.
But this is probably a stupid question, but what does eczema have to do with anything?
Wait, repeat what you said.
The hell does eczema have to do with anything?
Wait, did I say that?
I think that's what I heard.
I don't.
You said eczema.
You probably combined 2 words he said.
Oh shit, my fault.
But case in point, the second the Momoshiki arc ends, Katasuke is not walking free. You have this time skip, but at one chapter, let's say it's been a couple weeks, but even then, interrogations don't take hours. It would take time for them to look into everything, and this is the report. From what they can see, he was under Genjutsu, and from evidence, we don't know what this evidence is, but it's there that he leaked intel.
Wait, so quicker. So was he acting irrationally during the interrogations, or did he suddenly gain his senses?
I mean, from what they're saying, after they were interrogating him, it worn off. Whether that's breaking it, or whether that's doing something.
They had to break the Genjutsu.
Yeah,
wear off the.
At the very least, they saw signs of Genjutsu. You can't fabricate that. They saw signs that he was under Genjutsu, and
I agree with that. He was 100% under a Genjutsu. My thing is, we don't know what the Genjutsu did, and we don't know that the Genjutsu caused him to do specifically what he did.
But see, here's what they say. It looks like he was made to act in ways that benefited the enemy without realizing it. That gives a lot of leeway.
But specifically, which enemy? That's what I'm talking about.
The enemy that put him under Genjutsu. Yes.
The Kado organization. That's not Momoshiki.
But see, here's the thing. Again, Momoshiki was a happy accident. If he's doing things to basically wreck Konoha from the inside or weaken them, he's going to do multiple things that aren't necessarily in Kara's plans because they didn't account for Momoshiki. They didn't expect Momoshiki to ever show up, at least in this time frame. So you have Katasuke, who's already acting completely wrong, is gonna go through his greater impulses because of the Genjutsu and just do that. Kara didn't necessarily plan on that, but it's because of Kara having that Genjutsu on it that he's acting like that. That he went and acted like that during the Momoshiki fight.
But here's the leap. Here's where the headcanon goes. That's not what Sai was talking about. He said the Genjutsu made him aid the enemy, specifically the Kado organization.
Benefit.
He did that.
Acting ways that benefit the enemy.
Yeah, benefit. He did that. He gave them information about the scientific technology. That's it. Any other Momoshiki was not the quote unquote enemy.
I mean,
that's
during
specifically
the Chunin
from
exam,
Sai's mouth.
I mean, their point of view, Shikamaru's point of view, is just how Katasuke acted in the Chunin exams. And he references that he seemed off during the exams. So before the exams, he was leaking intel. But during the Chunin exams, he was still under effect to where Shikamaru, this man is acting weird. Don't forget, Shikamaru saw him enter the portal. So, things are making sense and plugging into Shikamaru's mind. And
this makes me even more skeptical. So the soliloquy that Sai went on a little bit earlier, that had absolutely nothing to do with the actual Genjutsu. It had everything to do with Amado's actions. Not Amado, Katasuke's actions. Because that's pretty much all he's going off of.
And Katasuke himself is in shock about everything.
I don't believe it. I'm not taking Katasuke's words for it.
But here's the issue.
That time where no one trusted Katasuke.
But here's the issue. Do you think Ino's trustworthy?
Yes. I believe when she says he was under a Genjutsu. I believe that.
So you wouldn't think Ino would make the distinction of, oh no, he did the Momoshiki stuff of his own full free will. There was no external sources that might have manipulated his line of thought into doing that.
Might have. This is what I'm saying. This is all now just questioning. We're questioning. Maybe the Genjutsu made him do that. I don't think from everything that we're seeing, there's nothing that says that that's the case. There's nothing that says that's the case.
I mean, you know, I feel like we gotta take Katasuke on this. Like he didn't say, nah, boss, this was all me on the Momoshiki stuff. You know, like I gotta take my L's on this. No, this man was like dumbfounded. Like
I can't. But on top of that, well, I think I'm finished with the Genjutsu talk. I think we pretty much understand it's not fully clear. But on top of that, we were talking about this earlier. This was not the plan of the Kata organization. So I think 100%. Putting this on Amado is a mistake.
But see, here's the situation. It's an accident, but they still caused that accident. They indirectly caused this situation.
So wait, and now if we're talking about indirect bad things, can we do that with Sasuke?
Oh, of course, goodness. You know me. I will clown on Sasuke if need be.
No, this wasn't you. This is with Black Uchiha. Black Uchiha. Can we do that with Sasuke?
Yes, we can do that with Sasuke.
So, all right. So the whole, how much people died during the Great Ninja War?
If that's what you want to do, because I'm not doing the whole indirect thing. I'm just saying.
Would you just say
I agreed earlier. I was like, yeah, if you look at it that way, Amado has his fingerprints on a lot of things. But I never went that whole route of like blaming everything on him. That's not my. So
nah, I said Amado saved the world multiple times, and you said maybe it was Rising.
Oh, but yeah, and I said you can't say that. So my stance is still solid because I'm like indirectly just because him having Kawaki show up, like
I mean, I blame all of
he directly saved the world.
I disagreed with that. In terms of him turning on Kara, I agreed with that point though, where you're like, okay, if he wouldn't do what he did, Ishiki probably would have ended up in Kawaki. That's true.
But the same thing with upgrading Kawaki, having him save Boruto.
Nah, bump that. No.
That's a direct thing that would have that pretty much saved the planet.
Nah, because had Kawaki not said nothing, that would have never happened.
Had Sasuke not said nothing to Orochimaru, like none of the Kages come back. So that's a bad. So I mean, Sasuke didn't save the world.
Sasuke sought out the Kages. That's what you do. What do you?
But he didn't act. He didn't expect him to help during the war. Like that wasn't.
He sought them out for him to ask a question.
Quick little side note. Quick little side note. Just to you know, I'm a bit petty today, but. We find out that the Genjutsu part of it was to get real combat data on the scientific ninja tool that Katasuke made, and it got messed up by the mayhem caused by Momoshiki's interference. So this is Katasuke operating under Genjutsu to get combat data on the scientific ninja tool. I was just thinking that I needed real combat data on the new scientific ninja tool anyway. It had gotten shelved during the mayhem caused by Momoshiki's interference while they're talking about all the current events that happened. So this is Katasuke, whose inhibitions are gone, whose main mission, right, subtly on the Genjutsu is to be so obsessed about gathering information on the ninja tech, which is why he wanted Naruto to allow it to be used in the Chunin exams, which is why he was so gun ho on having it be used in the Chunin exams, which is why he even he led on Boruto, and then once the Chunin exams got shelved, once that stopped. He wanted more data, and why did he go to Momoshiki? Why did he go into that dimension? Because at the end of the day, he wanted to record data and get a lot more info on his scientific ninja tools, in addition to showing them off. So you know, we gotta have Kara confirming it though, because
I stand corrected in that situation. I do, but I'm happy to admit now that we understand that we're not doing the indirect things. This has nothing to do with the Kata organization because no one thought Momoshiki would pull up. Right.
Yeah, 100%. But like, you know, at the end of the day, their actions caused it, whether unintentional. Like, if I unintentionally kill someone, am I still at fault?
All right. So no, me and you agree. We're here with each other when it comes to blaming Sasuke, not having too much sympathy.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So what are you talking about in terms of blaming Sasuke? Because like, I'm not saying Sasuke was justified for anything. I can sympathize with Sasuke and find no sympathy with Amado whatsoever.
But no, I agree. The same thing with Amado. I'm not justifying anything Amado did, but I'm saying you can't sympathize with Sasuke and not sympathize with Amado.
But
I
see,
believe
I
that
think we're
Sasuke was
forgetting
a more
something.
evil figure.
But
I
I feel
believe
like
you
we're
can
forgetting
sympathize
something.
with Sasuke over Amado because, like I said, with Sasuke, it's more personal with him. As for with Amado, we're already in this fantastical world, bro. And his daughter died from a disease, and he went on to kill kids. So I'm like, I'm looking at it from me as a standpoint of a reader. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I
But see, I
don't
feel
really
like we're
care.
forgetting
Wait a second.
something.
Let me just real quick. We went over this already. Just because it's not necessarily personal for him, to be honest, I think that makes it even more understandable from Ishigi's from Amado's point of view, because he wasn't the captain. He was just a pawn. Sasuke personally caused all that mayhem. Sasuke personally did all that BS.
So why can you? Okay, so look at this. So why can you feel sympathy for a man with gray in his fucking hairs, right? Who can't stand his adult daughter? I ain't saying she lived a full life, but she died at 24, my nigga, right? From a cold. She died from influenza. Nigga couldn't figure it out. Recreated her, not the same personality, exact same memories, versus a nigga who is 7 years old, came home from school one day, and his big brother just killed the entire clan, right? So already off bat, you messed up in the head, bro.
Wait, but hang on.
You're still chilling, right? And you still in the village, and you still operate for the next few years as a stand-up citizen, and your whole entire family just got murdered, right? So what do you mean I can't find sympathy for a nigga who just went through that and see how his path goes on moving forward versus a grown man who can't withstand the natural cycles of life and withstand even what he managed to accomplish thus far and be grateful for what he managed to accomplish being in Delta. But now he needs to go beyond. And that led to a point.
I think I get where you're coming from.
But see, I feel like
that led to a point where then he goes on to he's not the boss, but like I said, he's the head of research and development. His machine and tomfoolery is making all of this possible. With if Jigen was able to, he would have just went up to these kids and just transferred the karma seal, but he wasn't. Amado had to literally transform and operate on all of these kids' bodies to even prep them to undergo the operation in the first. Like there's an operation to undergo the operation. And
I feel like
he's killing kids. So at that point, once you even reach the first 2, 3, 4, 5 kids, nothing clicks in his head until he reaches to a point where he literally said, "I've lost count."
But see, I think adding on to both of your points, I think we're forgetting something, because in a sense you're both right, because we're forgetting something. Sympathy doesn't operate on logic. Sympathy is an emotional thought process. It doesn't matter how evil a person is or how good a person is. Depending on the person, you will or will not feel sympathy for that person. For example, I don't feel sympathy for Obito, but at the end of the day, Naruto felt sympathy in his heart for Obito once he saw Obito's memories. We can argue that Mizuki, for example, didn't do half as bad as shit that Obito did, but yet, Naruto clearly has a favorite, and that other man killed his parents. Sympathy is an emotional spectrum. There are people that can feel sympathy for Amado. That doesn't necessarily make Amado right or wrong. There are people that can feel sympathy for Sasuke, and it's vice versa. That doesn't mean Sasuke is right or wrong. It's just how you feel to that person and their actions. Like Amado doesn't have to do something greater than Sasuke to feel sympathy for one and not the other, because it's at the end of the day, it's a whole emotional thought process. It's your preference. You can say Mizuki is the worst person ever and not feel sympathy for him, and feel sympathy for Obito, who committed a massive amount of more crimes than Mizuki. So I feel like that's the disconnect we're getting, is we're trying to turn sympathy into a logic statement when it's intrinsically not. I can feel sympathy for Amado, and Uchiha can feel no sympathy for Amado. That doesn't make us right or wrong, because it depends on our personal emotions and our personal views, and vice versa. I can hate the hell out of Amado, and Baara could sympathize with him heavily, and that doesn't mean he's wrong, and that doesn't mean I'm right either. It's just a whole emotional situation.
Yeah,
logically,
you're right. The line comes where the differences of opinion as to why you you show that, why you empathize that sympathy, why you even show that sympathy in the first place. So behind the entire reasoning, which is like, what they give me for Amado, pause, is not enough for me to go, damn, I feel bad for the guy. As opposed to what they already gave me for Sasuke, and then we see his actions and repercussions happen in real time. It's a part of Amado's backstory for us that he killed an unnumberable amount of children doing the research that he's been doing for Jigen, bro.
Well, we know it was like 13. It was like 13.
No, it was 13 that we said. Amado himself said, "I've lost count at this point of how many."
Yeah, I'm pretty sure at that point it's probably like 13.
I mean,
the first one.
I agree with you, Baara.
Multiple.
I agree with you, Baara. But like, you know, the headcanon statement is we don't know.
Literally, they said it's an unnumberable amount, and we count 13 on the page. So if Amado is this grand genius that we all been giving him credit for, he would be able to count high enough as 13 and be like, damn, bro, we damn near killed a dozen kids. He didn't say that. He didn't say a dozen. That's 100% fair. He literally said, I've lost count at this point of how many.
I don't think so, especially if we're saying that he should be shaken up by the quote unquote moral conflict in his heart by essentially killing kids. Like at that point,
if you see the conversation between him and Jigen, he literally says he's lost count at this point of how many he's operated on.
Yeah, that's true, but I'm saying you could trust that he's losing count of the number of kids he's killed, even if it's 13, because he's not specifically counting. This is one kid we killed. He's probably thinking of them all as individual children. He's probably not even counting.
I mean,
like that's a kid that died. Oh my goodness, another kid that died. Oh my goodness.
The question becomes: would a person with a conscious or someone forced into this, would he remember how many kids he killed? Like, I feel like someone with a conscious, you know, this is headcanon at the end of the day, but I feel like someone with a conscious, someone who was forced into this, someone who doesn't want to kill kids, but is put into a situation of killing kids, I feel like he would be conscious enough to like say, shit, I gotta remember all these kids that I killed and not lose track of that count. Because at the end of the day, I did some
Ryzen, you didn't save him because I was gonna let him keep on going. So I'm like, so that's how we treating the kids now. It's just like something like another number we forgetting, like, oh, I don't even remember. Nah, bro, he literally killed so many kids that he lost count. So that insinuates he was counting.
I don't think he was.
Where's the pain?
I don't think he was. I think the fact that you could, I feel like any person in that situation could be shaken up to the fact where to the point where they stop counting. You could literally stop counting after 6 or 7. Like it wouldn't necessarily make any difference. To be honest, I think it would be more cold-hearted if he was just treating these guys as kid number 1, kid number 2, kid number 3. That would be more cold-hearted. But specifically talking about what Ryzen talking about a little bit earlier, I kind of agree. I get where Black Witch guys coming from in a stance where I feel like the disagreement that we were having, I don't necessarily think that we truly have that disagreement. And I do want to ask Black Witch if we do have this disagreement. Do you believe Sasuke was more? I guess. Do you believe Amado was more evil than Sasuke?
What do you mean evil?
In regards to like being, I guess, a villain.
The actions or their intentions? What are we talking about?
The actions, because I do want to get to the intentions real quick after this.
Yeah, I believe Amado is way more messed up than Sasuke.
Yeah. Again, I feel like that's where we disagree. And I think wait a second. I just want to finish this though. I believe why Black Uchiha has that stance is because of the origins. Just because of the fact that Sasuke had
no. We're not talking about why I sympathize with Sasuke. I sympathize with Sasuke because of the origins, but we're talking about their pure actions in terms of when Sasuke supposedly went off the rails. So we're talking about deserting the village, joining with Orochimaru. So yeah, I'm not gonna combine Orochimaru's crimes with Sasuke in terms of the Hokage killer. Like, yeah, he joined him, but he's not the one who did that whole nonsense. So then he goes on to kill Orochimaru, then goes on to track down his brother, and attempts to, in his mind, kills his brother, right? And then he finds out the truth. So now he's like, nah, I gotta mess up this whole entire thing. So then he goes on to track down the current running Hokage, being in Danzo. He goes on to kill Danzo while attacking the entire 5 Kage summit and attacking everybody.
You skipped over a lot already. You just skipped over a lot already.
So I mean, like, all of the nitty and gritty in between in terms of him declaring, yeah, I want to destroy the ninja village. Like, we're talking about things that they've done, or we're talking about the actions. Because we can go over both. So yeah,
I'm talking about the intentions.
intentions too. His intentions are always like I went over this already because when the cards are laid out in front of him, he always operates within his bubble. Basically, how the things affected him and his clan because that's what's personal to him. So his intentions is operate under that. And
why are we comparing
Amado's
Amado and Sasuke in the first place?
intentions is simply to revive his daughter. So he goes on to kill children to achieve that. So yes, that's more messed up in my eyes.
I think
I think the only comparable, like only comparable Sasuke characters would be would be Amado and Orochimaru. How are we comparing Sasuke and Amado? I don't think that's
what I'm saying. I mean, if we do Orochimaru, that's different because we can talk about Orochimaru's crimes all day.
I heavily disagree.
But see, I think the differentiation we have to make is motive and how far someone will go.
Sasuke was willing to go further. This is my point.
100%.
Sasuke was willing to go to the depths of hell, bro.
Let's continue. But let's continue this train of thought first. From what we've seen of on Amado, do we think Amado is willing to sacrifice humanity if it means getting his daughter back? Do you think there's a price? So there's no limits on what Amado will sacrifice and what he will reach to get his daughter back.
He literally told Kawaki. Kawaki said, if she comes back as an Otsutsuki, I'll kill her. And Amado looked him in his eyes and said, I'll do everything in my power to stop you. To fight you, I think he even said that. So how can you say if she comes back as an Otsutsuki, we know what time she's going to be on. And Amado made his stance very clear.
We don't. Just because Kawaki's an Otsutsuki, does that mean he wants to plant god trees and destroy the planet? No, we don't know what time he's going to be on. Now, specifically, if humanity is destroyed, he won't have his daughter, so he won't go to the depths of destroying humanity. On top of that, we literally see him help against Ishiki Otsutsuki, despite potentially being in his daughter's best interest.
No, that wasn't his daughter's best interest because he never wanted to help Ishiki to begin with. He always wanted to find out.
No. He thought Ishiki wanted to help Ishiki. It was until he realized that the devouring of the god tree meant to the destruction of the world. So he literally said it was no point in bringing her back in the world.
There would be no planet.
Destroyed.
Yes, because he's not willing to destroy humanity.
But see, destroying humanity and destroying a viable planet are two different things.
Yeah, well, because where was he going to revive his daughter at?
Yeah, planet would still be viable.
Earth was gone.
No, but Earth wouldn't be gone.
No,
humanity would be gone.
He saved humanity by proxy, though. He had to be in order to save his daughter. Because of proximity, he needed the Earth. He needed the Earth.
But see, there would be no life on Earth.
Earth would still be there.
Yeah, but it would be a rock. It would be a lifeless rock. That's the problem.
Exactly. That was the question. Humanity would be gone.
But see, here's the situation. You can kill off humanity, but still have a viable living planet to where you can have your daughter just live there. Other than,
seems stupid as hell, but
but having a planet that's just dead is completely different. If humanity just disappears today, Earth's still gonna be chilling. Animals are still gonna be chilling. But if the whole planet goes kaput, that ends life as we know it. That's all viable life is just gone.
I just don't believe he's willing to destroy the entire, let's say, all of humanity except him and his daughter to save his daughter.
I think he is.
I disagree.
So that's my question. Do we think he's willing to go to that extreme, or do we think he has limits? Because obviously we know that that killing an undisclosed amount of kids is not where his limit threshold reaches. My question is, do we think
threshold is anything that affects his daughter? Anything that affects his daughter indirectly or indirectly is his threshold.
But this is my point. That's not where Sasuke's threshold reached either. Like but
that's my point.
I feel like the defenses for Kawaki at this point is he tried, but he didn't do it, so he's good. That's like the Trump defense. But like everything Trump.
But see, here's my thing.
Illegal things Trump.
But see, here's my thing about Kawaki. As much as I give Kawaki flag, as much as I shit on him, at the end of the day, Kawaki knows what he's doing is wrong, to the point he said, after I do what I want to do, I will happily kill myself or submit to your rules and get executed. Amado, from what we've seen so far, it isn't doing that. He's not going to kill himself for the sins he's committed. It seems like from what we can see is he's just going to chill with his daughter.
And he knows what he's doing is wrong.
For the remainder of his life. Now, could that change? That's different. But what I give Kawaki props for is he's willing to face the consequences. He's willing to off himself if need be. Amado says,
no. Well, go ahead.
Uchiha, you know, I'm a big Kawaki hater. You know I mean, it pains me to defend Kawaki. But at the end of the day, at the very least, we can give him that props to where he's not going to justify his existence on the actions he's doing. Compared to Amado, from what we can see is, yeah, I killed a couple kids. You know, I'm going to revive my daughter, but I never said I would pay for my crimes or anything about that, or just do anything. I from what we can see right now, he just wants to chill.
It's not even a couple, though.
Now, of course, I could be wrong.
Wait a second. The only crime Kawaki believes is punishable by death is him being an O2 member. It's not him killing people. What are you talking about here? That's not him.
My whole thing with I don't want to.
No, you gotta remember.
I think Kawaki wanting to kill himself is an out. I still think that's him running. Like, he's still running, and that's a whole different thing. I disagree heavily. Amado is not trying to face his conflict. He's not even thinking about it at all. He's like, I'm trying to get my daughter back by any means. And it's not, I ain't gonna say it's not that deep because the loss of a loved one is significant, but considering the stakes and the game that you're playing, bro, it's not that deep, bro.
You're also too, though, like you're saying that you're saying like the loss of a loved one, like that's impactful. Yeah, it is. But like, all right, so I lost my grandpa to cancer. It would have been different if I lost him to somebody murdering him. Then I would have been trying to get back, you know? Like, but if he died from natural causes, what the fuck am I getting get back for? Like, why am I dedicating my whole entire life to reverse something that was inevitable?
I get it. No one's necessarily saying that, hey, his origins were as strong as Sasuke's. I'm talking about purely their actions and intentions. Like, that's it. Like, how far they would have went. I believe Sasuke. So if
we're talking about that,
he didn't carry the kids in his way.
Okay, I mean, all right. So if you're putting it that way, yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, Baara. I agree with you.
No.
Because Amado actually like if I'm going off of what Baara's, Amado actually felt bad about the kid, or I think you said this. Amado actually felt bad about all the kids that were dying. Yeah, like if he didn't feel bad, he wouldn't have looked.
Oh my God!
Sasuke did.
What?
Sasuke did.
Why do we say so, bro? He killed a number of. He can't keep count. Baara's trying to cap it at 13 because we can count the 13, and I know Amado can too because those kids up there are still alive.
When Amado was like, "Bro, it's too many. I can't even count these on my hands and toes. We're doing too many, bro. This is going on."
So at that point, all of the kids, because we know Kawaki said he was the last kid to die. He watched all the other kids die. So we're not even talking about the kids in the room right now, including Kawaki. He's already lost count.
But even if that's the case, to be honest, even if that's the case, I still believe Sasuke is a more evil character. Sasuke was way more evil. Like, he didn't care if he killed kids. Flat out.
Did he kill a kid? Did Sasuke kill a kid? Yes or no?
What else?
If we're talking purely, let's keep it purely actions. No. Because if we're talking purely actions and attention, let's keep it that. Sasuke said, "I'm gonna destroy the village.
But the intention is what he wanted to do.
Did he kill a kid, Baara? Yes or no?
He intended to. You just talked about intentions.
We're not gonna do half of your analogy. We're gonna do the full thing. But did he kill a kid?
No, but I just okay.
So
I can't necessarily say because you didn't do it, and you
Amado,
that
did
you
Amado have
that
intentions?
evil.
Did Amado have intentions to come in there and go kill kids? Yes or no?
Probably. To be honest, probably not. Honestly.
No. Okay, that's fair.
Did he kill kids? Again, this is the key thing. And this is the key thing I've been talking about. He's not the grandmaster behind it. This
so if someone gave a person a gun and been like, "Bro, go over there, run around this block, and go there and shoot that person."
All right. Perfect example. Do I consider that store runner, like, call him a store runner, someone who's ordered to go kill someone? Like, I'll call him a store runner. Do we consider that person more evil than the person who ordered him to do it? Or not even that. Then do we consider him more evil than another person who wanted to kill someone and actually wants to do it himself?
Well, this is like all right. This is like I give Baara, like, Baara is trying to like put in like a murder for hire type thing. Like, do you consider the person putting the money on somebody's head more evil than the person who actually committed the murder?
And to be honest, also he had no choice. Either he had to do it, or he was going to die. Versus the other person who willingly
you're doing a hypothetical. You're trying to turn it like his life was never threatened like that.
He
Amado's
doesn't
life
want to
was
die
never
because I
threatened
even
like
brought
that.
this up before. Amado created cyborgs that are way stronger than Jigen or Ishiki, so I don't think he really feared Ishiki that much.
He did. He feared him
I don't think
he feared him
He
on
respected the
screen,
fact
in
that
panel,
Ishiki
and the
was the
manga.
only.
What are you talking
He
about?
respected the fact that Ishiki was the only possible way at this current point to bring his
to
daughter
get his
back to
daughter
life.
back.
So
Yeah, but
that's the whole thing. So if we're gonna
but
say like in terms of how evil he was, it's not even about that because he literally did what he did. And a straight up murder. If you consider, I consider both of them. They did what they did. Now, if they would have given me Amado's backstory and we found out the entire
see
Sanzu
again,
clan got killed, and we turned out Jigen
again,
massacred the entire clan and he killed his daughter, and now he's working to bring his daughter back, and Jigen promised him that, I give you all the sympathy in the
here
world,
you go.
Amado.
You're weighing the origins again. You
here's
can't weigh
my
the origins based on what they actually did. I'm not weighing the origins. I said Sasuke had a way deeper origin story than Amado. Doesn't matter. I'm
If we
talking
stick
about
to
what
what
his
they did,
intentions were.
if we stick to what they did, what did Sasuke do?
We
Sasuke
were
killed
talking about
his brother,
just off of the unintentional stuff. Well, not unintentional.
Tell me, what did
He
Sasuke
intended to
do?
do this
but Bar,
when
you
it
did say we're
happened.
not talking about the
Because
origin.
you're
We're
talking
talking
No,
about
about
what they
what they
we
actually
were
did,
we
and
were
you
did.
talking
kind
about
of
that in regards.
shifted.
I wasn't. No, wait a minute. I wasn't talking about that in regards to Rising. Black Uchiha, I was. This is what we're talking about. Sasuke caused the entire Great Ninja War, which killed thousands of children. But
How
buck
did he
niggas,
cause the?
children.
How did he
Wait.
cause the Great Ninja
Obito caused
War?
the Great Ninja War, not Sasuke.
It doesn't.
Exactly.
He can't do it without Sasuke.
Obito's the one.
He
Obito's
can't
the
do.
one
He can't do
who
it without
announced war on
Sasuke.
all 5 nations. Though
well,
You're
he
capping,
could and
bro.
he
he
did.
could.
To be fair, you
You're
got to remember.
capping, bro. Come
You got
on,
to
bro.
remember. Here's what led up to the war.
Bro, I'm
Sasuke
going to tell
gets
you this right now. Hold on, Rise. I'm sorry to cut you off, but
no
Baara,
problem.
I think you went into the wrong field. You would have been an amazing defense attorney, bro. You would have made a fucking amazing defense attorney because nothing that the other opposing side would say that would ever change your mind. No, my fucking
No,
dude is
man,
innocent, bro.
No,
the
I
You
evidence is
can see
might
it
got
though.
there.
him
The
on
The
evidence is
camera
innocent
blowing
there.
part.
somebody's head off,
Like,
but this is a good guy right here, all right? This is I
nah,
don't give a fuck what y'all got on camera.
nah, but I even consider some things. I'm not necessarily saying Amado was the greatest guy or anything like that, but strictly compared to Sasuke, even if you say he didn't necessarily cause the fifth Great Ninja War, he wanted to destroy the village,
But you
which
literally, my
included
thing
hundreds of
is,
children.
my thing is, because
Bar,
whenever
if
I
I was
talk
on
about
trial, you would
Amato,
definitely be my defense attorney,
but,
bro.
but
I'm not
but
gonna
that's
lie
the
to you.
thing. No, you can't do that, Free, because look, here's the thing.
Why
Because when I
not? He's a
mention,
great defense
because
attorney, bro.
listen, because when I mention Amato and I talk about his deeds, he's like, we can't do that. We got to talk about what Sasuke did. So every time I'm like, okay, what did
Nah,
Sasuke
I'm
did?
not.
You
think we
mentioned his
could.
intention to destroy the village. I'm like, no, but
Nah,
you
I
said
mean,
actions. So what are
look,
the
Black.
actions?
I
Nah,
agree
I
with
said
you
both.
100%. But Barr is doing a great job of bringing up reasonable doubt, bro. Like that's all
No,
I'm
here's the thing. Here's the
saying.
thing. I said both. We're going off of
What?
actions and we're going off of intentions.
So what are
Sasuke's
the
intentions.
actions?
Sasuke's intention, to be honest, I think this could be even more. This could determine more about who's more evil. Just because you can't specifically do something doesn't necessarily mean you're more evil than the person who actually can. The person who has the more sinister mind is the more evil person, not the person who actually has the ability to do the more sinister stuff.
So what did Sasuke do that was like a grand evil plan? That's what I'm
He
keep on
wants
asking
to
though.
destroy the village, including multiple children. And now you're saying the big thing with Amado is that he killed multiple children. Sasuke wants to do the same thing.
When it okay, all right, I'll give you that. Okay, let me give you that. Because you're talking about a want versus an actual deed done. Okay, past that, Sasuke wanted to kill quote unquote children. Amado killed children. What else did Sasuke do that was so evil?
Also, the fact that he was the general. My guy Amado was a pawn. It wasn't his wanting to do it. Like, he didn't want to do it. He was Sasuke legitimately wanted to do it.
See, here's my disconnect. From what we can see, Amado wasn't coerced. He was offered an opportunity, and then once he joined, it was only after he joined that he was locked in. That you can't leave now. So he says he appeared. He said he'd reunite me with her if I assisted him. So that's the job offer. You work for me.
Define assisted.
But continue. Let me continue. And that was Jigen as an Otsutsuki Ishiki, huh? And then Amado says, when his objectives were achieved, he'd reward me by reviving my daughter. That was the deal. I aligned with Kara as a last hope, not knowing that his goal, the chakra fruit, would come at a cost of this planet's life. So it says, I aligned with Kara, not I was coerced with Kara. I was held against my will with Kara. I was forced into Kara. I willingly joined Kara. I aligned with Kara. I said, yeah, sure, I accept your job offer on the condition you keep your end of the deal. So until we find a flashback or anything that disproves this, we know that Amado joined Kara of his own free will.
Wait a minute. We know he joined Kara on his own free will, but it wasn't like, oh, now that he knows Ishiki is doing some evil stuff, he could up and leave. Ishiki didn't even let him leave the hideout. What are we talking about? He didn't have a choice. Once he was there, okay, yeah, he willingly joined the Kara organization. Once he was there, he was stuck.
But see, here's the issue. Here's the issue. Like, he found out, he knew that Jigen wanted a new vessel, so at the very least, he knew he would have to do experimentation. So the issue is...
define experimentation. This is what I'm talking about.
Like, you know, forgive me, but if I hear kids and experiment in the job offer, I'm denying it, regardless of if my daughter died or whatever. So
hypothetically, if a scientist said, I want to experiment on kids, just off of that, just off of that, nothing else, I still say Sasuke is more evil than that scientist. I'm sorry.
It doesn't matter. And yeah, you're right.
You're right to think that. Evil.
You're right to think that, but my point is comparing Amado by himself, because I don't care.
So the reason why it doesn't, so that entire, all right, listen. The entire point is disingenuous because you're still going off of what Sasuke wanted to do as opposed
even
to
what
the
he
evil
did
deeds that he's done.
Even what he did.
So what I'm going off of, what did he do?
Oh wait,
well, I'm talking about specifically in regards to the scientist thing.
But
side note.
So I'm asking you, Baara. I'm asking Baara. What did Sasuke do that falls under the category of evil?
I have to go back and legitimately chronicleize everything that Sasuke did, but you're significantly saying watching Sasuke and what he did in Naruto Shippuden. Significantly. But see, I can't necessarily recall everything, but I have to go back and watch it.
No, I'm genuinely asking you, what did he do that can be considered evil? Because
his intentions of destroying the village.
Going rogue from his, we're talking about what he did. So going rogue from his village, that can be considered a moral dilemma. All right, that's a whole thing in its own.
But see, prosecutor here, real quick. Sorry to cut you guys off, but you know, we have it straight from the man's mouth. I was prepared to do anything for her, but what's the point if there's no planet to live on? So we know verbatim that short of the planet being destroyed, he is prepared to do anything. He'll kill any man, woman, or child if it means Akabe is gonna come back, because he said it himself. The only red line is, I need a planet for her to live on. Like,
I think we're stretching that quote.
I was prepared to do anything. I mean, anything is a big word.
I think we're stretching that quote unquote anything. I think there are things that Amado wouldn't do.
I mean, he said anything. I mean, like that's a very short line. Like, you know, from the planet being destroyed as being a red line to anything below that is a big anything. So like,
my boy would have.
How do you interpret?
Top somebody up for a cheeseburger.
Anything a lot. You know,
but how do you interpret his anything statement though? Because he said anything, and then he and then his red line was the planet. So like, what?
Well, because that's what he ran into. Of course, he had to do it because that's what he ran into.
Because that defeats the purpose of her coming back, because she'd be dead anyway. Her resurrection would be impossible because she has no oxygen to breathe, and he'd most likely be dead also, because even code tells us that unless you're escaping to another dimension, as long as you're on Earth and you're a human, you're an inferior life form, you're gonna be killed. So the planet being gone is a situation where Akabe can't even come back. So as long as she can come back, it seems like that anything is genocide, murder, whatever, as long as he gets his daughter.
I don't necessarily think it's anything. It might be close to anything, but I don't think it's anything. And especially in regards to the evil things. But specifically in regards to Kawaki, I do want to ask Black Uchiha, do you think Mojo Jojo is evil?
Mojo Jojo's evil.
Well, he didn't complete much.
I mean, he still built the machinery. He still did what he did, and his plans was always thwarted. His plans was always
that's what I'm saying. What about Doofenshmirtz? Was he evil?
Who?
From Phineas and Ferb.
Yo, my boy just got finished watching Powerpuff Girls. Cause where is he coming up with these
references?
Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb.
Shit, and he's trying to literally take over the entire tri-states area.
He's literally trying to take over the world, potentially kill people, but he never does it.
If Perry the
Bro, that's like the Pinky and
the
you bring it back to the Pinky and Brain then. Was the Brain evil for always wanting to take over the world, even though he never did?
That's what I'm saying.
But that was his goal for the whole entire day, and it never happened.
So Sasuke was so we could criticize them, but we can't criticize Sasuke.
I never criticized anybody. I just said
I never said we can't criticize Sasuke. I'm sticking to the point of in terms of comparing Sasuke to Amado and my stance where it stands strictly between these two characters. I never said you can't criticize Sasuke for what he done throughout Shippuden, but my specific answer, my specific question to you was what was his actions that fall under the category.
But this is what I'm saying. I'm saying can we not criticize Sasuke based on his intentions? But answer. Can we not?
So are we shifting the goalpost again?
We've been on this. We've been on this
because we already established. This is why I brought up the Doofenshmirtz. Already established. Sasuke had intentions of literally destroying the ninja village, and we established that he had intentions.
And I believe
of destroying the entire ninja system. We established that.
And because of that, I believe he's more evil than someone who's being a pawn to someone who knows he will kill him if he doesn't do it. That's my point. Then we went over the whole the hitter or
the way you put it like that.
The hitman versus the actual.
It's not how it is. That's not how it is with Amado. Now, is he a pawn in the overall plan? Yes, but is he inevitably? No, because Ishiki's dead. The nigga not breathing.
Could you say Ishiki was? Could you say Ishiki was a part of Amado's plan? So, in a sense, Ishiki was a pawn for Amado.
Like literally, that's how we can look at it hindsight. So your claim doesn't stand solid. But even with that, even disregarding that point, the whole entire thing is he agreed to join, and he was the head researcher. He was the one operating on the children. And we haven't even went past the children that died. We're talking about the people he literally operated on without moral consent. We're talking about moral consent in terms of, bro, he's turning humans into non-humans. He's literally bringing back people DNA from the dead. Like he's crossing a moral line. And you're talking about the guy with Sasuke where he had intentions, but I'm talking about, okay, his intentions were bad, so now let's go on to the actions, because I already gave it up to the intention.
That's why they made a reanimation jutsu.
But my thing is,
so I get what you're saying.
My thing, determining how evil you are, it doesn't necessarily just go down to the actions. To be honest, I think that's less relevant towards in regards to the intentions. The intentions is more relevant towards how evil you are.
That's not a general rule. Because that has to apply to that has to apply to the context, and within this specific context, it falls in the favor of Sasuke.
It's even especially
because if you want to, because I wasn't even going to pull this card, but if you really want to rely so heavy on in terms of intention, well, in Sasuke's case, his entire family was unjustifiably murdered, so I need to destroy the people who was responsible for that. So in my eyes, there was an evil act committed against me.
That doesn't mean
I have to respond.
You're not justified.
I don't think intentions make a person evil though, or thoughts as well, because like you can have as long as you don't act on those thoughts or those intentions, that separates.
But Sasuke did act on them. He wasn't successful. Just because you're not successful in something doesn't mean you didn't act on it.
So, do you consider him killing? Because I'm gonna just ask. Do you consider him killing Danzo an evil act?
Hell no.
That's 50-50. That's 50-50.
Danzo was
okay. So, do you consider him attacking? Do you consider him in general attacking the 5 Kage Summit an evil act?
I'd probably say so.
Right, Kage deserved it. Can't convince me,
like he could have. Like honestly, if he was evil, like if he was evil, he could have took it out on their whole village and instead of trying to directly just take it out on the sources.
So now let me ask you. Bart. Do you consider the whole entire thing that happened between him and Itachi an evil act?
What you mean in between?
Because I know people were tripping if I be like, oh, he killed Itachi. When I be like, oh, Itachi let him die. I know Itachi let him, but do you consider him killing Itachi an evil act?
Him just attempting
I'd say
to
it's
kill
immoral.
Itachi.
It's not evil.
Okay, so do you consider him inevitably killing Deidara an evil act?
Deidara, I mean, that's more like a self-defense case type of thing.
Okay.
I told you, turn me a law bar, bro.
But see, here's the situation.
So do you consider him attacking Killer B an evil act?
Yes.
Okay, 100%. So we just went over a majority of his actions within Shippuden, and you gave me
that's not majority. Yes. That's a huge minority.
Okay, so do you consider him killing Orochimaru an evil act?
That's 50-50. Yeah, I'd say.
Do you consider him joining Orochimaru an evil act?
I'd say it's immoral. I wouldn't necessarily.
Okay, so what else do you consider him like?
Yeah,
we went over the Killer B thing.
I have to go back and specifically track all of his specific things that he actually did. But we went through this. I basically said I believe intentions should weigh more.
I know them from memory, so I can state them. All right.
I feel real quick. I feel like we're going in circles because then I'd ask you.
Oh no, you don't feel like we're going in circles. We are going in circles, bro. We went
because I'd then ask you about. I'd ask you about Mojo Jojo, then Dr. Doofenshmirtz. You'd obviously say yes, they're evil, even though they didn't actually do anything because of the intentions.
But see, I'm a bit confused because
you're stopping the intentions short of the actions. They're literally getting stopped in the act. Attempted murder is still a crime versus thinking about murdering someone, bro.
Well, Sasuke did make actions to it.
Well, I mean, no. Hold up. Now, thinking about killing somebody is a crime if you're attempting to put it in an action, because there is a conspiracy to commit murder.
That's what I'm saying. So in terms of putting it into action, attempted murder, basically Mojo Jojo and Doofenshmirtz, they got a whole bunch of cases of attempted assault, attempted murder. That's what they got because they're always getting stopped short. Sasuke made a declaration and he didn't even have that entire mindset long enough to in order to act on that declaration, because by the time it became close enough, he was like, nah, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna do this.
Well, I mean, like, hold up.
I'm destroying the whole ninja world.
You were texting about our plan to kill Baara. We never put it in action. We're just texting about our. No, sorry, Baara, you have to be. That's a
moral situation. That's why I said it's a civil situation in court. That's between that's fucked up between our end against Baara.
Well, no, I was just bringing up. I was just bringing up the point, like, as far as like law and order goes, like we would have got convicted of conspiracies to commit murder at that point. We didn't put the plan in action or nothing. We were just at the blueprint discussing the plan, talking about how we was going to put it in action. We never got to put it in action anything.
Let's get off crime quick, because crime itself isn't necessarily equal to morality. Would you consider that evil? The plan to assassinate me, would you consider it evil?
Yes, that's messed up.
Nah. It's cool.
Yes.
I'm just playing.
Free trolling. But I'm saying overall, the two people, I have that less than not me because we're joking on it, but if anybody were to conspire, two people would conspire to kill someone, we'd consider those two people evil, even though they didn't do it. We still consider them evil.
Yeah.
But see, I'm a bit confused.
We literally see Sasuke. In this case, we're talking about somebody having a plan and being cut short of acting it out. That's literally what we're talking about with Doofenshmirtz and Mojo Jojo. We're talking about Sasuke.
Doofenshmirtz, bro. This is a crazy
I've
never watched Phineas and Ferb, as you can see. Because I'm like, who the fuck is this dude?
We're talking about Sasuke, who literally got told information, and his response to said information is, I'm gonna do this. It was no plan. It was no A, B, C, D. Nah, it was like
he literally created a whole team to do it.
Because we can't count the Kage Summit because he literally acted on that. If we're talking about purely his intentions, and you're so stuck on the village, we're sticking with that. He heard it, and then all he did was verbally say, I'm gonna destroy the Hidden Leaf Village and everyone in it. He never made no freaking plan or nothing to do that.
He did gather up some snackers though, you know.
He gathered his team to help him get to Itachi so he could kill Itachi. That had nothing to do with the Hidden Leaf.
He literally called them a different name after he
did assemble his killers though, bro.
He called them a different name after he got the story of how the Hidden Leaf Village was responsible for his brother doing the thing that he decided to
once he changed his
entire life to kill his brother. So that's what I'm saying. Everything goes back to literally what I said. Sasuke updates his stance as he gets new information. So now we're shifting the goalposts.
I'm not shifting. The Kage Summit is literally a part of that plan. It is. Those are actions he's taking.
The Kage Summit is him saying, "I'm gonna go kill Danzo," and he proceeds to do that.
Yeah,
that's what the Kage Summit is.
Prior to that,
let's say Kages just happened to be
prior to that. Let's say Kakashi and him didn't pull up on him. Let's say Kakashi and him didn't pull up on him, and he had his visions. Do you think he didn't stop that?
I guarantee you, and it's an inevitable situation.
Well, he would have stopped that Danzo unless somebody else tried to stop him. Yeah, I don't think.
So here's
the 5 Kages were just collateral damage, honestly.
I'm not talking about just that specific episode. I'm talking about after he killed Danzo, because the idea was destroying everybody in the village. After he killed Danzo, he would have done that. It wasn't like he changed his mind.
He wouldn't have had no choice.
See, here's
my point is, those are actions towards it.
See, here's what was gonna happen. Sasuke at that point in time, pre-Kage Summit, was going to the village to destroy it. He was stopped by Obito, who told him, "A, you failed in our deal. You didn't get me 8 tails, but also Danzo's the new Hokage. He's the main guy who orchestrated the massacre. He's gonna be at the 5 Kage Summit." So if Danzo hadn't been named Hokage, he would have went straight to the village to attack it at that point.
That's what I'm saying. He did make actions towards it. I can't necessarily just give him that.
So are you saying that he would have destroyed the whole village to get to Danzo, or he just would have got to Danzo and
he would have lost?
Danzo, the village wouldn't even have been a threat, or not a threat. The village wouldn't even have been a thought after he would have killed Danzo.
He would have lost, but there'd be collateral damage, like a lot.
I feel like Sasuke would have probably ran to like 5 solid Jonins. They'd have killed. He'd have probably killed a couple of them, but he'd end up being stopped, and then we'd be like, "Nah, he never really wanted to kill."
Who likes Danzo that much to get in his way and die?
Not that like, evil.
I don't even think any of the. I don't.
Right, I'm saying, like, are we really gonna like baffle at the fact that this man killed Danzo? So like,
even after, point.
Okay, so he's on his way to the village, and then he gets told, "Boom, Danzo just became Hokage," and he's at the what's the name? So he's like, "You know what? I'm gonna go after Danzo because them the secret niggas. That's the entire thing behind." So his entire focus shifted from the village to Danzo. So now, once he kills Danzo, he's in a situation.
Danzo's part of the village.
Literally, once he kills Danzo, he deems Danzo.
He's done.
He deems Danzo and rightfully so the other elders responsible for what Itachi had to do, and Danzo is the living embodiment and proof of that. So he killed Danzo. After he killed Danzo, bro, he starts going into a spiral, and eventually he comes to a point where he's like, "Let me ask the OGs that I kept hearing about my entire life. What's the point? What's the entire point of all of this?" So I'm still stuck on the point where Sasuke is literally considered a flat out like evil person as opposed to a criminal.
Or somebody who's just acting purely off emotions.
See, the problem is because we got to remember, once he found out about Itachi's true story, he finalized, like, sure, he was going after Danzo and the other 2 elders, but at the end of the day, we can't pretend like he wasn't going to level the whole village to dust and kill kids. Like, that was his main individual goal, but he was still after every last man, woman, and child of the village. So we kind of have to call that evil because they had nothing to do, like the children especially had nothing to do with it. Their crimes are potentially being children of people who let that system happen.
Being born,
kids are innocent.
So since Baara's been reaching, because since Baara's been reaching, I'm reaching this debate. No, we can, in Sasuke's case, from his perspective, he literally even said this in the story, they're just as guilty for their antagonization. He basically knew that he was ostracized as an Uchiha, and he knew that the village themselves, their public perception of the Uchiha was, let's not even sugarcoat it, they was racist.
Yeah, so, no, yeah. Yo,
that's
it's a lot of racism
going
on in this series, bro.
That's how he was coming. He said, "Y'all don't like me. I don't like y'all."
I get it, but I keep on saying the origins, in my personal opinion, it doesn't necessarily weigh that much on how evil a person is. I don't really know the Joker's origins, but if he had like the craziest origin story, he'd still be evil. He'd still be the Joker.
No, that's the Joker, but like, bro, we're talking about a man who's literally considered who's literally with his own hands committed mass murder, bro.
Just
on
a
specific demographic, being in children.
But Sasuke didn't care if he did. He was literally on his way to do that. And furthermore,
so this is a weird question.
Wait a second. Furthermore, wait a second. 2.5.
My bad. Go ahead. No, I'm sorry.
Sasuke was the person who really wanted to do it. Amado was being used as a pawn. He didn't want to do that.
Amado is willing to do whatever to bring his daughter back. So if that 1 + 1 = 2, I want that 1 to get to my 2. So
what about this?
So you're saying you're going off of motivation, and Sasuke's motivation is inevitably tied to his origins. So we can't cut that.
We can't. Would you call Thanos evil?
The fact that he was willing to stop right there means it wasn't necessarily anything. I believe if you asked Amado himself, if he had to run through 1,000 more children, he probably said, "No, I'm going to find a different way."
Yeah, because he already killed the first 1,000, bro. So you're congratulating him for not killing 2,000 children. You're like, yeah, good job, Amado. 1,000.
I don't know. I feel like Amado would say, you know what? I already killed 1,000. What's 1,000 more?
Yeah, what's 1,000 more?
That's more in line of Amado right now.
Like, what are we even doing? Like,
I don't know where I'm going with this, but would you consider Thanos evil?
Yes.
For me? I think
I'm asking Black. Well, because I'm talking about
Thanos is a more philosophical question because he's trying to play God when that's not his role.
Yeah, okay. I was about to say he's trying to save the universe in a way, but his way of saving the universe was destroying half of it.
Yeah, the means don't justify the end, because it's like you're still committing an immoral act. Like, that's my whole thing.
Like,
that's the thing, Baara, because I think
the road to good intentions leads to hell is what you're saying.
Yeah, so I believe you think my stance is, say hypothetically, the conversation was just pivoted to Sasuke and his deeds and considering the level of measurements of them. I'm not gonna sit here and defend Sasuke for what he done. That's not what I'm here to do. However, given the current debate and conversation that we're having, pinning Sasuke up against Amado, pinning how can I empathize with Sasuke versus how can I empathize with Amado, pinning do I consider Sasuke evil or have I ever considered him evil versus Amado? No, because I know Sasuke and I know Amado, and what's been laid out in front of me for both of them is that Sasuke has his reasoning, justified or not. Do I believe it's justified? That's debatable. No, in most cases, but that's debatable. But Sasuke had his reasons for doing what he's doing. He's literally reacting to things that's going on towards him. Amado is trying to step into a role that he was never meant for in the first place. He's trying to bring his daughter back to life. Sasuke loved his family so much. He never said, yo, I'm going to bring my mom and dad. He could have been on that type of time, but he didn't. He said, I'm going to avenge them. I'm going to get some revenge.
Okay, I have a question.
I don't think that outweighs it. I don't think that outweighs it.
I have a question for Baara real quick. Would you say Amado wanting to kidnap Koji is evil and take away Koji's free will and autonomy?
It depends on what he's doing it for.
Depends. I mean, this is Koji who severed ties with Amado. This is him chilling, and Amado said, "You know what? He has a cool power. Let me kidnap him." Is that not evil?
We're assuming that's what it is. If that is what it is, matter of fact, just for the sake of this conversation, if that is what it is, yeah, it's evil.
Okay, because we got to remember, he knew Koji was alive. He just didn't care. Once he heard,
Black, the goalpost is kidnapping, bro.
Nah, but here's the thing. Here's what I'm talking about. That more evil than what Sasuke was on? Is that more evil than what Sasuke was on? This is what I'm saying.
My point
I don't know, man. Sasuke didn't kidnap nobody.
See, here's my thing.
He literally killed people.
Well, he did try to kidnap B, but that's another thing. But my point isn't like, oh, because someone else did something evil, that puts Amado off the hook. I am perfectly fine of holding Sasuke accountable, Obito accountable, Mizuki accountable. It doesn't matter to me. I don't use the leeway other characters got to say, okay, I'm gonna do less than Orochimaru, so he should get a less punishment. No, I understand nepotism and just circumstances plays a role in those other characters. At the end of the day, in my point of view, Amado did some fuck shit. He's got to own up to that on his own and take action of his and take responsibility of his own actions. For example, if you know, with your train of thought, if that is it, let's say it's not. What reasoning does it justify for him to kidnap someone? If it is for his daughter, he's still kidnapping someone for his own goals without being coerced. He's still trying to potentially enslave a person and take away their autonomy just because he can't get over his daughter's loss. Would you call that evil, or would you call that desperation? And where do we draw the line in the sand?
It's both. It doesn't necessarily have to be one or the other. He's doing things. He's doing evil things because he's desperate.
But do we justify that? That's the question.
No, to be honest, I never justify what Amado was doing. I've talked about this a little bit earlier. Before we start this conversation, I talked about how Mel changed my opinion on Amado. Not necessarily changed my opinion, but changed my verbiage. He's not a quote unquote good guy, but he's just a father who wants his daughter back. He's been doing evil stuff from the beginning. I'm not necessarily saying he wasn't evil. I'm saying comparing him, a foot soldier, a pawn, to someone like Sasuke. I'm sorry, he doesn't.
But see, respectfully, he ain't a foot soldier right now. He a whole ass
boss.
He's not killing kids boss right now.
Like Baara's trying to undermine. You're trying to undermine Amado's role, bro. He's not no foot soldier. He's the one been masterminding this entire thing.
Wait a second. The main thing that we were comparing to Sasuke was the experimentation on kids. Right there, he was a foot soldier. He was a pawn. Sasuke's act himself was a general in the stuff he wanted to do. He himself wanted to do it. He himself did things because
was a pawn for him, bro. Ishiki was just a means for an end for him. Ishiki was his pawn. From the beginning of the day. Yeah, he was.
I can't give you that because Amado didn't have a choice.
Ishiki to get his. Yes, he did. He could have said no to Ishiki. He didn't have to go along with
it. You're talking about something completely different. I'm talking about in the act specifically of experimenting on children. He was a pawn for Ishiki. That wasn't what he wanted to do.
Yes, it did. Yes, it was. Because if it wasn't what he wanted to do, he could have backed out at any time.
He didn't.
No, bro, like he could have. If Ishiki came along and offered him what he offered,
he could have said, "No, Baara,
I'm going to do it my own way. Like I don't need you, Ishiki. I'm not about to sacrifice kids to bring my own kid back."
He wasn't allowed to leave the hideout. He couldn't say I quit.
Bro.
No, he
created So basically, let's just
two beings that are far surpassed Ishiki. If he wanted to leave, he could have left.
And was ordered to be killed.
Yeah, he didn't have to do that. If you got made two things that are way powerful than a person that say, "Hey, shut them shit down," and you can use those weapons against them, no, you're doing it because you need that person.
So, what was the timeline specifically? Because Delta was already there. Like, what was the time? What was the timeline? Were Damon and Ada live and running around? And Cold Cold wasn't even a person yet, or he wasn't even experimenting on yet. Were they running around live and well once Amado was actually experimenting on the children? I don't believe so. I don't know about the
timeline. Now we're doing hypotheticals, and you know how I feel because
he came beforehand.
I don't think it's a hypothetical
because Ikimoto is wishy-washy with the Kara backstory.
Yeah, true.
But see, at the very least, we know that Damon knew of Jigen. And knew of Jigen's powers to where he could definitively say Code is stronger than Jigen. The fact that Jigen was also afraid of these two means he would have had to have seen them in action. He would have had to have seen Damon's reflection ability. Don't forget, Ada would have to be conscious for her to even use charm, for them to even know about charm, for them to even know about the powers they manifested, means they would have had to have been activated for a certain amount of time, meaning Jigen did see them use their powers.
I'm not saying he didn't know of them or they didn't know of each other. I'm saying, was Amado experimenting on children while they were up and running around?
Yes,
that's the point. Like, we don't know.
I would have said that they came
before. We're saying that Amado
either before or in the middle because Kawaki was around and Kawaki. Kawaki. Yeah, Kawaki didn't know nothing about them.
Neither did Code. So only the older members of Kara, like Baara.
Yeah, they know about them.
So that was prior. So it wasn't a situation where Amado said, "Oh, I'm seeing these kids now. I might have regretted. Oh, I'm gonna just get Ada and Damon to take care of Ishiki." No, he didn't have them. At that point, his biggest plan was Kashin Koji.
No, he needed Ishiki though. He needed Ishiki so he can continue.
Yeah, because you gotta remember,
and stuff like that. If he would have took Ishiki out that time.
But even, I'm saying hypothetically, he realized in himself, "Hey, I can't do this. I want to find a different way." We're saying, "Hey, if Amado was a moral guy, he would have done that." I'm saying it wasn't possible. He wasn't allowed to leave the village. You're saying he could have had Ada and Damon do it. Ada and Damon, we don't know if they were alive at that point.
I'm not even just saying Ada and Damon. I'm just saying that he made beings that are way stronger than this quote unquote person who's keeping him hostage. If he wanted to, he had a lot of means to get out of the situation that he was in.
We don't know if he was being held hostage when Ada and Damon were created. That could have been.
We gotta remember.
I'm not even just basing my whole hypothesis off of Ada and Damon. What I'm saying is he had the intellect to create things that were stronger than Jigen. Even if you scrap Ada and Damon, he still had the scientific know-how to make something that was stronger than Jigen, the person that was keeping him hostage. So even if you shut them down, he still could have made something significantly stronger.
If that was the case, he would have done it.
But here's the thing, here's the thing, adding on to Free Game's point, he couldn't
if his goal was to leave Baara, he would have done it.
Yeah,
his goal was to get his daughter back, bro.
But here's the issue. He did it when it benefited his mission. We gotta remember, his goal wasn't to kill Jigen or Ishiki just like that. His goal was to make sure Kawaki's karma stayed empty so he could hijack Kawaki's karma and revive Akabi. If he had just killed Ishiki like that, and Ishiki went into Kawaki's karma, you could get rid of Ishiki just by killing Kawaki. But that wasn't the goal. His goal was to set up this big brain plan to get Ishiki out of the way while simultaneously having a way to have Kawaki still keep that karma, but keep it empty so it can serve as a receptacle for his own daughter. If Damon had said, "Nah, bro, you ain't it. I'm not getting shut down. I'm not getting locked up. I'm gonna kill Jigen," that would have ruined Amado's plan. He would have to stop. He would have to figure out a way to stop Damon, because that goes against his plan. Like, everything he's worked towards is gone. We gotta also remember, the only reason Koji was created was to kill Jigen, was to go against Jigen and have Ishiki revive and potentially siphon off a few extra minutes off Ishiki's lifespan. So the fact that Koji's even been around for a hot minute means that he already had this plan to turn on Jigen the second he realized that, oh shit, this man's plan, in addition to getting revived, is also destroying the planet. If Jigen's goal was just to revive himself, that's perfectly fine.
And get the out of there.
The deal breaker is the chakra fruit, because the chakra fruit actually destroys life. Like, it actually kills the planet. If you kill the planet, you're not gonna have an Akabi, and it's just like Shikamaru says, fulfill Kara's mission, you get your daughter back, but the planet would die. If the planet dies, it renders Akabi's resurrection a moot point. So he had to plan this carefully. He can't just, even if he could kill Jigen or Ishiki, he needed a specific plan, because he was playing Ishiki at the end of the day.
Wait a second. That timeline in itself supports the fact that Amado didn't want to kill the children. Like, he was already trying to leave Ishiki. He had no choice. But that's my entire point. I feel like we're losing sight.
No, but the thing is, he did have a choice, though. He had a choice. He could have just left. He wanted to revive his daughter.
He couldn't.
So
no, he couldn't.
Why couldn't he? The only thing that would have stopped him is he wouldn't be able to revive his daughter. If he,
Koji was
what
not
I'm saying is,
Jigen.
if Amado just would have just said, "Fuck reviving my daughter," he could have just went about his day and lived as an old man, and then everything would have just went to how Jigen planned it out.
Wait a minute.
Amado didn't have to do anything.
We're talking about at the point he realized that Ishiki was on some other stuff. Amado couldn't up and at that point and just up and leave. That's impossible.
No, he was in too deep at that point.
That's what I'm saying. So putting the children on him when he's a pawn in the situation, which I've been saying, is wild. Sasuke himself intended on doing
where you're talking about.
Sasuke
Wait, hold
was
on.
general.
But the timeline you're talking about, these kids are already dead. When he was in too deep, the kids were already gone.
No, when he was in too deep, they weren't even being experimented on already.
Here's the situation. Here's the situation. By the time the kids, or at the very least the last 13 batch, were experimented on, he knew that they needed the karma. Like the karma is the reason why they were dying. That's the problem. We know that he was trying to take down Jigen before he even fully figured out the karma resurrection. But here's the thing. Here's the issue. He was already making Batman plays, contingency plans. I forgot the word for a second. Contingency plans on Jigen.
Batman plays.
But once he realized Jigen had that cool shit, the karma, he chose to plan it in a way that benefited him. That's the issue. That's the issue. He could have.
Wait a second. Even if he did, how does that take away the fact that the children were going to die either way?
I mean, once he had Damon, Duke could have said, "Yo, David, the guy who's holding your freedom is that dude. Kill him." But no, he said, "No, I need this man to live."
My thing is, once he created Damon, did Amado know he was going to be experimenting on children the way he was doing? Maybe he probably knew the experience, but
Damon and Ada are already children. By the time he experimented on them, they're already children. Yeah. I'm just baffled at your entire stance right now, Baara. There's no point.
Just experimenting on children in general should be a deal breaker.
That's why Baara is the $1 million lawyer, bro.
Wait a second.
Drew Finland of the Boruto game, bro. What are you talking about?
Y'all conflating multiple things.
Put some respect on my boy Baara's name.
Y'all conflating multiple things. Just the experimentation, I agree, is evil. But just the experimentation isn't as evil as killing an uncountable number of children. We all agree with this, right? The most evil thing that we're comparing to Sasuke is the killing of those children. That's specifically what I'm talking about.
I don't think
Amado didn't have a choice at that point.
He experimented on people. And he killed those children,
bodies, bro.
And he's willingly doing all of this. I'm trying to figure out where.
More bodies under their belt, Amado or Sasuke? Let's put it like that. Who got more bodies under their belt? So if you're going to say what serial killer is the most evil, you're gonna ask how many bodies they got. No, Sasuke don't have more bodies than that Amado.
He does.
Amado got more bodies than Sasuke, bro. Amado got way more
Amado
bodies.
Can't even count how many bodies he got. Sasuke.
He literally said he. Come on, man.
Sasuke got 100%.
I don't get it. What?
Hold up. So let's count how many bodies Sasuke got. He has Itachi, he has Deidara, and he has what's his name? Danzo. There you go, Danzo. Couldn't even think of his name because it was that insignificant. Amado has thousands of children.
So you really think Sasuke only got 3 kills in his career?
No, if we could hypothetical. Who else did he kill?
Yeah, one of the bodies he got. He only got 3.
Going off of AI overview on Google, it says he has less than 10 confirmed kills. Okay, so action-wise, less than 10.
All right, and then Amado, how many he got? He can't even count how many he got.
I'm pretty sure it messed him up.
I mean, if it's less than 20, you'd think he'd say 20.
Right,
so
exactly.
They've got to be in the hundreds at least.
I disagree. I think you could be mentally.
Bro, killing people is like a big thing, bro. Like I don't care how many kills. Like
Wait a second. I feel like we're going in circles here. I feel like you could be mentally a bit puzzled, but on top of that, wait a second. On top of that, we're skipping past Sasuke's intentions to destroy the village.
Ask Google how many confirmed bodies Amado got. Just like you asked for Sasuke, ask him how many Amado got.
And then if Sasuke did do what he intended to do and then took out a village, they probably would have had the same amount of bodies, bro. To tell you the truth, if Sasuke would have just took out one village, they would have had the same amount of kills.
Which is crazy because Amado had to literally, like I said earlier,
look each of these kids in their eyes.
In the eyes, yeah. Sasuke
So,
would just bomb the village or some shit like that. You wouldn't have. It wouldn't have been personal.
Amado had these kids say, I don't know, my mommy sent me here. He's like, it's okay, come here. After he's on kid like 222, he's so like, come on, bro. He's literally hearing their stories. He just keep on going.
Even the AI overview kind of agrees with me right here. It says the brilliant scientist, on-screen combat kill count as a primary role providing engineer, cloning, and scientific tools. He doesn't have a high direct kill count. Indirect toll, Amado's exact indirect kill count is much higher but unquantified. Now, specifically, these are indirect kills.
I ain't never heard of somebody having unquantifiable kills.
It's because it's indirect
because they don't say it.
In this case, Baara, indirect basically means, in Sasuke's case, his kills are basically, I'm about to kill you. In Amado's case, his kills is, I'm for the experiment on you. Oops, you died. Oops, you died. Oops, you died. That doesn't mean anything. That still means he killed them, bro.
And then we went over intention versus action. And we can go over the Doofenshmirtz thing again. We can go over the Doofenshmirtz thing. Doofenshmirtz has
all right. So Baara, after the fifth child died, we're not even talking about reaching number 1,000. What is your thoughts going in on kid number 6?
Wait a second. I said
no. Let's not do that. Because what was one of the main reasons? Because if we could do that, what was one of the main reasons why Hashirama? Go ahead.
I said from the jump, Amado is evil. Saying was it going off the 6th, the 7th, the 13th? He's evil. We're comparing that to what Sasuke was trying to do, which was destroy the entire village.
Bro,
women,
but
children,
that's crazy.
How
can you? Wait, hold on. How could you compare?
You literally just counted the kids.
Actually, did to what they intended to do. Like
we
I could
literally went over this already.
Shit, but no.
Is Dr. Doofenshmirtz evil?
Bro, I don't know who the fuck Dr. Doofenshmirtz is to even agree he's evil or not. I don't know.
Black Rising said yes.
I know. I'm just fucking with you, bro.
Dr. Doofenshmirtz was famous for not being able to complete any of the innators that he had. Just because he didn't complete it didn't necessarily mean he wasn't evil. But Sasuke having the thought, making actions to actually destroy the village, multiple people in the village, thousands actually, including women and children, that, in my personal opinion, makes him more evil than Amado, who was ordered to do something over a fear of death. It just makes him more evil. Not saying that Amado wasn't evil.
At best, does he put his life above 1,000 more evil? That's what we're doing.
We've been doing that. No one's saying that.
No, bro, because you're asking me. I don't even consider Sasuke evil. That's my whole point. Because I've been asking, name me 5 evil things Sasuke did, and you can't name me one.
We're literally talking about intentions as of right now. And if that's the case, name me one evil thing Dr. Doofenshmirtz did.
What the fuck is Dr.
Doofenshmirtz? Attempted murder, attempted assault, attempted everything, bro.
Same thing with Sasuke.
How is it attempted if he's not thwarted? Sasuke wasn't thwarted. He got new information and changed his mind, bro.
Obito literally didn't allow him to go to the village. What are we doing here?
No, Obito told him that Danzo wasn't in the village. That's the only reason why he didn't go to the village.
That's part of his persuasions.
As opposed to Dr. Doofenshmirtz having a laser gun pointed at the entire town and Perry the Platypus inadvertently pointing the laser up at the moon and saving everyone. Bro, that's different, bro.
Is Dr. Doofenshmirtz the dude with the motherfucking red hair, bro? With no hair on the side? Am I thinking about the right person?
It might be brown. I think that's
brown. Okay.
It might be orange. I ain't by the way.
It's just like, I don't get it though, because it's like we're talking about things that they're actively doing, like Mojo Jojo pulling up with a bazooka, about to blow up the bank, but he's getting stopped.
On his way. What are we doing here?
We're acting like
so. Who this guy is.
So if we're talking about
his haircut, just makes him want to be evil, bro. Did you see this dude's hair?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Baara, if we're talking Baara,
Sasuke's even the whole show.
If you bring up a point, if Sasuke if at any one point Sasuke was at the village, right, and he had a freaking Kirin locked and loaded, and he was about to send that raining down on everybody and anybody, and then somebody put up like, "Hey, don't do this," then you got it. But that was not the case. That's not the case.
You'd be like, did he connect though? Did he actually do it? You probably just move the goalpost again.
I'm not moving. You're literally moving you've been moving the goalpost the entire time because I gave you the reason why I can sympathize with Sasuke versus Amado. And then you were like, let's take out the origins and let's consider who's more evil. And then I was like, okay, if we're going to do that, tell me what Sasuke has done that has been evil. And we're still on the entire thing of he had intentions of destroying the village. And even when I said, okay, I'd give you that, let's go down the list, you still haven't given me anything after that. Again, and we went over a majority of his actions, and you only gave me one affirmative yes of something that Sasuke did was considered evil.
To wrap this up, I feel like I figured out where our main disagreement is. I believe that intentions matter significantly, almost even more than actual actions in regards to how evil someone is.
And that's where we disagree. That's where we disagree, honestly.
I guess you plus Black Uchiha, I kind of believe it's really actions only.
No, see, that's the thing. I made my stance clear that it's contextual. It's based off of context, and within this paraframe, it's not considered evil for Sasuke. Now, I can't say in general it's solely actions that's considered evil, because there can be a situation where someone has some real sick intentions and they don't fall through on it. That's a different thing. What we're talking about is Sasuke versus Amado.
I feel like, again, just intentions versus actions. I understand what you're saying. It's more of like a medley, but I feel like I just weigh the intentions more heavily in my medley.
In this case for Sasuke, because his intentions were inevitably to destroy the village because they killed his entire clan. So at that point, we're talking about war. And in war is no good or evil, because the entire point of war is that both sides are fighting because they believe they're right and their cause is just. So good and evil is inevitable. So in this case, Sasuke's clan was taken out.
I got again. I feel like you. This is another disagreement we have. You weigh the origins way more heavily than I do. I think, regardless of the origins, again, you could
for empathy, yes. For empathy, that's different because Sasuke is tied to it. But regardless of his origins, if we're just talking about evil, it's like I said, inevitable.
I'd say, for example, you might have an opinion on Pain. Pain is my favorite character in Naruto Shippuden, but I still consider him evil.
Pain is evil.
But his origins, you could
his origins was in Pain's case, I sympathize with him and I consider him evil still. That doesn't change the fact I never considered Sasuke evil. He was messed up in the head. He's a war criminal, yes. Well, I don't even consider he's not a war criminal. He's jumping sides. At that point, you're wishy-washy, but he's a criminal, yes. But is he evil? No.
I guess we can wrap it up there. Maybe we can continue to the next pod.
Nah, man.
I love you guys. Y'all funny as hell.
Because we're not gonna reach an agreement. We're gonna end up doing the same thing. It's an agree to disagree.
It's gonna be in a whole nother circle. We'll be here for another 2 hours.
Speaking of agreements, we agreed at the beginning of this pod to keep this pod short, but
guess you disagree on that too, huh?
We're gonna try again next pod.
We're not gonna be successful. It's all good though. Hey, thanks everybody for joining us. Thank y'all chat for hopping in and being a part of this back and forth with us today. This was really great. I'm telling y'all, Baara B will make a great attorney at law. He needs to look into
this. He's gonna pack because the judge gonna be like, all right, I'm tired of this. You know what? Just he's innocent.
They gonna have a whole 4-hour argument, bro.
Because I'm not gonna lie.
It's gonna be
he got me beat. It's because they kept circling back. That's why I was like, all right, he's gonna bring it up. Like, because at that point I gave up. I'm like, he got it. Because there's no way. He got so much in the tank to where it's no point. There's no point. Bro. It's like he got it.
But
Baara's gonna turn a preliminary hearing into a 3-hour discussion, bro. It's not even gonna be this.
But side note, I'm happy because I have vindicated my client Katasuke. He's been cleared of all charges.
Yeah,
I'm gonna end my case in that where I won my court case.
Oh man, y'all funny as hell, bro. Hey, thanks Chris the Beast for the $5 donation. We appreciate you. We'll most likely catch y'all next weekend, bro. This was a good discussion. I like this one. This was fun.
We could pod again this week if y'all trying to, because I know we missed out last week.
Oh, yeah, it don't matter to me. I'm always
That's
done.
fine.
It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah. We were supposed to, because we were supposed to talk about. I mean, we actually we did talk about the ninja cards. We didn't we, Ryzen?
Yes, but I also, funny enough, had a lot more to talk about because they're doing a Naruto announcement in Weekly Shonen Jump in like a week.
I saw that.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
coming
we're gonna
up,
have to have another pod then.
So there's a lot of different things that I had on the agenda, but
we ain't even hit no MCU talk. It's literally, I think the very first topic Baara brought up, that was the entire pod.
Yeah. Bro, I changed the whole title of the pod like in the middle of it because I was like, okay, this.
Well, no. It should be who's more evil, Amado or Sasuke. I feel like that'd be
literally start out the pod. Okay, one of the first things we're gonna get into 3 hours later. We're still into it. It's not one of the first things.
We was going over the chapter. That's what happened. We was going over the chapter, and then somehow we got on this whole tangent about Amado being evil. I don't even know how the fuck we got here.
It started with Katasuke, then it started with scientists.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Kept leapfrogging.
Nah, because it happened. It was something before y'all got to the Katasuke back and forth. We were going back and forth already about something.
No, it was about Amado. It was about Amado and how he and his thing with Kawaki, and then we somehow got into this whole thing about Amado being evil and stuff. I remember y'all talking about Amado.
It shifted from Amado to Katasuke and then back to Amado.
But see, here's the situation.
Got thrown in the mix somehow.
Here's the situation.
Katasuke was there because y'all was trying to pin the whole Momoshiki karma on Amado, and I was like, "Well,
no, Katasuke was there because we was talking about who was smarter as a scientist. I think that's how we got.
Yeah, y'all, you just threw Sasuke in there because my man Sasuke can't chill, man. He always got clout, bro. He's always
I was like, I feel like it started off when y'all said, "Oh, nah, Sasuke, y'all feel sorry," or y'all were sympathetic towards Sasuke. And I feel like I was like, yeah, you can't be sympathetic towards Sasuke.
No, I actually no, because I was like first one to say, I was like, I ain't gonna lie, I can't feel bad for this guy Amado. That's how it started. I was like, I don't feel bad for him at all. And then y'all was like, why not? I'm like, bro,
Black Uchiha, he got to bring up Sasuke had to be brought into the hearing. Yeah,
word, and you know I'm gonna defend Sasuke, so it's never.
I think that's all it was.
But see, here's the flaw with the Sasuke v Amado. Sasuke is done committing his crimes. Amado is still in the process of committing more crimes, so he's not even done committing crimes. That's the issue.
And I guarantee you, it's not going to be as crazy as destroying a village, leveling it.
We'll have to see.
Maybe.
Man, if we want to be biased, man, we also because Sasuke was a kid too. He was a kid, and Amado's a grown man making these decisions.
That is true.
Amado is
Sasuke,
an old man. Wait, hold on.
Y'all never took that in consideration when we were discussing Obito versus Kawaki.
A head full of whites, bro. What are you talking about?
Man, Amado started making his decisions with a full gray beard, and Sasuke was conflicted and able to conform before he even became an adult. Like, come on,
and then Amado still like pause, but Amado still has sperm that's swimming around in there, so he can always have another daughter. Like, what the fuck's going on here?
So very convenient we bring up age now when we're not discussing Kawaki and Obito.
Obito was a similar age when he crashed out, though.
No, I was talking about the Ninja War Obito, 30-year-old Obito, grown man Obito, compared to Kawaki.
But that's him already being warped as a kid. And him continuing with that train of thought. That's not him getting warped as an adult. This is Obito snapping as a 50-year-old man. This is him snapping as a kid.
Amado got warped, bro.
Come on, Baara. You got to see the side that we're trying to present to you here, brother.
Amado got warped at 50, bro. When you're a kid, your brain doesn't even develop till you're 25. So
literally, and then you be like, I ain't gonna lie, I was probably tripping when I was 17. That's how Sasuke is.
When I was 7, yeah, exactly.
He was like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I was tweaked out. Yeah, I was tweaked out back then.
I had to can't be like, hey, bro, I was tripping when I was 45. I'm 50 now.
What? Like, bro, you're 45. Get it together, my guy.
So I guess we agree. Sasuke was more evil because he had an undeveloped brain. And because Amado understood,
you see, Spin Master Baara back at it.
So yeah, Kid Sasuke was more evil, but he had reasons.
Oh no,
okay,
bro!
I can agree with that.
No, bro! You gotta give a person with a developed brain the more. You gotta give him more.
No, man, he's out here spinning the tape again, bro.
Who do we hold more accountable? Maybe Amado, but who was more evil? Just because of his undeveloped brain, we can give it to Sasuke.
I never said that. Don't include me in we. You need to teach me. You need to show me the app you became so proficient in French in, Baara, because I want to learn.
But see, here,
I ain't gonna
what's the
lie.
bigger
I ain't
crash
gonna lie,
out?
y'all. If I wasn't laying in my bed on my phone on my AirPods, I would have probably been into this podcast. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all.
Yeah, all right. After Rising comment, we gotta go.
Low key,
Go ahead,
low
go
key.
ahead.
I want to go to sleep.
Oh, that was a comment.
It wasn't the comment, but I realized that. Oh shit, I don't want to expend
He
this
said
for
he's
another
running on
20
1%
minutes.
battery, and he's not trying to cut off in the middle of his topic. But
I
no,
respect
for
that.
real though. Let's end it here. We'll have it. If y'all
All
want,
right,
we
we
can
could come
definitely have
back
another one this
Wednesday,
week.
Thursday,
We'll
something like
pencil
that.
this in.
Yeah,
Put a
Wednesday,
pin in it.
Thursday. That's fine.
All right, everybody. Y'all have a good night. Be safe.
All right, y'all boys.
Peace.